All right, here we go. Some VOD reviews of the LEC Spring Finals. How exciting.
Make a good practice, they have good experiences on stage. They're going to perform higher maybe than people would expect them to in this final, but lane swap just...
So exciting. Only LEC, no LPL. LPL tomorrow, buddy.
Takes away so much of your momentum if you're not ready for that strategy. It doesn't let you, practice or utilize so many of the things that you practice.
Fistigons 25, TES 3-1 in the finals. Ooh, that's a spicy take. I actually want to see the opening ceremony first. G Thorne's video with the mother of your children? I did. It's very nice.
The cold of winter in Berlin breaks to...
So we have this like Japanese influenced music and the falling cherry blossoms, despite the fact that this is in Germany. Feels pretty weird. She's also wearing like a Japanese like a Asian inspired dress. This feels super weird, guys. I love Roman.
Our defending split champions. Father of the top lane, Broken Blade.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Maestro in the jungle, Yike. Agent of chaos in the mid lane, Caps.
Caps almost combed his hair for this final.
Executioner himself, Hansama. Unseen threat is the deadliest. It's Mickey X. Joined by their coaches, Dylan and Rodrigo. Give it up for G2 Esports. As it was always written, so it shall be. Their eternally faded rivals FNATIC blossom once again in conquest of victory. Your second MSI.
It's somehow better than what LCS did with that performance of Rise. Yeah, Oscarin and brimming with personality.
Master of control and harmony, humanoid.
What is this shot?
It is Noah.
They surprised the cameraman.
Creator of Blaze in the bot lane, June. Joined by their coaches, Nightshare and Gax, FNATIC. A tale as old as the season. It always comes down to this battle.
He's kicking that one off, maybe hoping to just get some summoners or some spells out of each.
All right, I can't watch all this, guys. It's too bad. You know, I actually haven't seen, because I was at the venue. I haven't seen what the LCK intro looked like on stream, because I only saw it live. So I am kind of curious, guys, because the flagship was super cool in person. I'm here to tell you.
We're getting ready. It's game number 1 already here at the Grand Finals. We got Genji on the blue side, and what are we going to see tonight? That's
All the stuff with the flags was really rad in person. It was amazing.
Pre-show, I am Valdez.
Oh, just cut him off.
And
Get trolled, Valdez.
2023 LCK LCK Summer Rudy Bank 1 Grand Final.
All right, here it is. I don't need the Riot advertisement.
Time is running to stop me. I run faster.
The Tiger edit or whatever it was there was pretty cool.
Be ready for disaster. You can bring your army, you can bring it all. You're trying to defeat me, but there's no way I can fall. In the end,
It's pretty crazy, guys, because they had to film this with Hanwha 2 in addition to T1. Right? Because they didn't know who was going to be in the finals. It's pretty bonkers effort. So somewhere on the cutting room floor, there's just a bunch of shots of Hanwha Life.
try and stop me.
The intro is kind of whatever, but the intros for the finals can't be as good anymore because of the fact that lower bracket finals played the day before, so we forgive them. This was so rad in person, by the way. So everybody was given these little balls, the LED balls, and for the T1 intro, it was all red, obviously, and they had, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it like spelled T1 in white over the crowd, and these LED flags, I've never seen anything like it before, but they are super cool. I had never seen these before.
먼저 LCK 유일한 전승 우승이었던 22 스프링과 함께 6연속 결승 진출. 그런데 그중 5번을 연속으로 붙게 되는 상대는 이미 3핏.
This arena apparently holds 15,000 people too, and it was like 100% full. It was crazy in there. It was so loud.
오늘도 상대 보핏을 막고 무려 2년이나 기다려주신 팬들의 영혼 V11 드디어 간다
Oh yeah, so you can see it. So you see these white patches. It was really obvious in the arena, but they all say T1. So they would change some people's, and they did it with Genji too, where they had the Genji logo in white and like the sea of gold. It was very cool. So because they're all radio controlled, they can control which ones change to what. Yeah, this didn't really come across on camera, but it looked amazing in person. Yeah, I really like what they did with the flags. I thought it was very dramatic. Where was I seated? I was up at the very top, like up here. But I was on the T1 side, so it was extra funny because I was like hyped for Genji. And then as soon as Genji won, the entire T1 side of the stadium was just empty. It just left immediately. So I was like up here somewhere over on this side. Oh no, this is T1. I was over where the camera is. So basically, you know, they did half and half. So I was like up here. But they did half and half, so the T1 fans were on the T1 side. The Gen G was pretty evenly split in terms of noise as well. Was it hard to get tickets? No, because I have friends. Would it be hard for you to get tickets? Yes.
레전드 LCK 역사의 단물 오랜 기간 황금기를 이끌어온 두 명과의 이 끈질기고 지긋지긋한 암숙 관계가 과연 오늘 청산될 수 있을 것인지. 이 화려한 결승 무대 위에서 또
That's pretty cool. The augmented reality stuff. Obviously, the fireworks were real. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it looked good on the. It was amazing in person too. It really did a good job, I thought. Who is Lil Susie? I don't know. Who is she? All right, guys. Getting into it. Pretty big production diff.
Final, but lane swap just takes away so much of your momentum if you're not ready for that strategy. It doesn't let you, you know, practice or utilize so many of the things that you practice in the week.
At the moment, though,
No T1 Gen G, not today. Listed as G2 versus Fnatic on YouTube. Yeah, we were just looking at the difference between the intros. Finished the latest Monty at Wolf Show. I'm so interested in the Bonjour lore now. Oh, we'll talk about it tonight on Summoning Insight too. So I'm interested in hearing Thorin's thought. No selfie in the KSBO arena, dude. I took pictures. They're on my Twitter. Going from LCK opening ceremony to LEC has me shell shocked. Well, why? Why does that have you shell shocked? You got the epicness, and now we're leading into these games, so you should be all jazzed up for LEC now.
Pretty standard. Volibear ban also coming out as well, trying to limit some of the early impact from Razork at the very least.
I haven't seen these games yet, guys, which is why I have to watch them before Summoning Insight.
In this series specifically,
All right. So Rel going to be banned. Callista is curiously up. Interesting that we're first picking Rek'Sai here because we always see the Callista ban and the, you know, plus the Draven ban against Hans Sama, but they're actually just prioritizing Rek'Sai, which is like pretty curious. Volibear has been rising in priority. We saw it actually be like first pick for BDS, which I think is pretty nutty. And Noah has been a good Zeri player, and that hasn't really been Hans Sama's wheelhouse. So
terrifying champion to play against and has often been used as an answer into the Rek'Sai. I'm curious whether or not FNATIC will look towards that, as right now they're hovering around the bars.
yeah, I'm actually like this adaptation.
So we're just gonna take the Zach Rek'Sai least interactive top lane matchup since Zach Mundo like 10 years ago. Alrighty.
But it also means that, hey, if they go for some sort of weird lane swap, we get to respond by either picking
Lane swap.
The
It's the
Scion's
lane
locked
swap.
in.
All right, so they are going to lane swap with the Scion. They're picking it super early. It is a jungle Rek'Sai, most likely. Dude, the lack of Senna priority and the lack of Callista priority is already, like, really fucking crazy, in my opinion. Okay, they're going to take Azir. Aurelion Soul ban for Caps, Talia ban for Caps. They take out... So they're hinting with the Poppy ban that they do actually want to take the Callista eventually. But it's not actually a mid Tristana, it's a bot Tristana, so we're just going to play... we're going to play... I wonder if Mickey X is going to play the Demolish Lulu again, because Demolish Lulu plus Tristana fast push is pretty crazy, actually.
need to hyper-aggressive play that lane to try and win out and put the enemy behind. So I prefer going towards something like the Renata here. You can still take the Demolish Rune and be fine.
We look at FNATIC's comp as a whole, it is very well rounded, right? You've got a nice early bridge in the form of Xin with a powerful bot lane in the form of both Renata and Varus. You've got late game behind it, FNATIC G2,
But Vigar's position.
All right, let's see what this lane swap holds for us. The magic of the lane swap.
We've got a lot of fans, a lot of dedicated fan bases, but the G2 and the FNATIC crowds, they always come out strong. Today is...
Do you think a Korean player in China could ever be considered a bonjour? Yeah, I don't think Korea, like, it's necessarily Korea specific.
So, what will FNATIC do to address the lane swap that we're all expecting? Tristana, a champion that is very good at securing those early objectives. You can see the rune choice from Mickey, heavily indicating it. And you can see Hansama literally hovering in top lane. So.
Jun both with demolished towers. It's a PvE early game, folks.
So Hans has started his recall a couple of times and is canceling it. He's just trying to be like
Hansama throughout the day.
Okay, so we're just getting a regular spread here by FNATIC, even though they should be aware that this is likely a lane swap scenario. And there are no deep wards in, so we didn't see FNATIC actually walk into the jungle and, like, place wards to... I mean, technically it should be here. Sorry. Here, here, and here. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Should be here, here, and here. So they actually just don't catch out anything. They're not trying to invade. They're just going to handshake into the lane swap.
2 versus 2 has the greatest advantage because the bot lane tower is weaker than the top lane.
All right, so both of them are going for a weak side start. So remember, in old lane swap parlance, you have strong. You have your strong side, right? And we have to revive this terminology because it's very important. Strong side is the 2-player side, and weak is the 1-player side. So there's a variety of different jungle starts you can do. This is going to be a weak side start for both junglers. You can do strong side invade. You can do strong side your own jungler. You can weak side. And why weak siding is questionable sometimes is you could be subjected to a strong side invade.
We're not actually going to try and keep up with you, G2. We're not going to
So it will be Rek'Sai actually just going Raptors into enemy jungle.
To just secure more plates in the...
Because we see Oscar coming in on the bottom side. Scion Q, early level.
So they're checking right now to see if where the top laner is. He's not there. They're going to find him right there. So this is, by the way, guys, this is highly typical. Well, actually, no, it's not highly typical. Okay, so what this is this play, by the way, is very similar to a Scion dive, like we would have seen from BDS last year. So it is a 2-wave. This is the second wave, 2-wave crash into 4-man dive. Now, this is the play that BDS tried to do. Now, they did it in the 2v2, right? But this is, it's harder to do into a Scion than it is against, you know, or with a Scion yourself, but you're still going to get it. The problem with this kind of strategy, actually, we see a 2-wave crash up here too. So typically what we used to see in old style lane swaps is you try and slow push as much as possible. Did anybody see if Mickey X, I'm just going to look at the, hold on just a second, guys. I'm just going to look at his runes, because I just wonder if he has Demolish again, but it already would have procced there probably, so I can't see it. So I'm just going to look at the scoreboard. Give me just a second to answer this question. Oh, this is 2023. What the fook? Why are you sending me to 2023? I don't want this at all. Spring playoffs. Okay. Finals is game 1. Yes, he has bone plating and demolish. Okay. So this is an interesting strategy because I think as a result of having the Trist plus the Lulu with demolish actually may make up for the fact that this has a 50% damage reduction pre 5 minutes, right? So I'm kind of into this strategy. It's also interesting that they pushed this in at the second wave because a lot of the times what you used to do in lane swaps is, you know, jungle through the top side, have your top laner follow your jungler, and when your jungler hits 3, that's when you deny into the turret. But, you know, strategies might have changed because this was pre-turret plates, so, you know, likely optimal strategies for lane swapping have shifted, so we're going to pay careful attention to this. Yeah, there's the demolish proc again.
give it up for his bot lane, the priority being that he wants Noah and Jun to be kept up in farm. We talked about how, like, in theory, the sieging power bot side should be quicker. Broken Blade trying to get to the tower.
Tower, handshake back is good. Nice follow-up, pushing him away. Decimating smash, though, gonna hit 2 members. Broken Blade gonna have the passive as well. And already Oscar's down, that's the passive. They need to kill Broken Blade as quickly as they can to stop him from taking Oscar out. The healing isn't enough. Oscar is gonna survive, but it's on a razor.
That's pretty shit flash from Broken Blade, honestly.
Ultimately, though, it's FNATIC with 2 kills on the board.
So what's interesting here is he decides to try and walk back into lane and then TP's back in later. I wonder why he didn't TP in first.
Nice follow-up, pushing him away. Decimating smash, though, gonna hit 2 members. Broken Blade gonna have the passive as well. And already Oscar's down, that's the passive. They need to kill Broken Blade as quickly as they can to stop him from taking Oscar out. The healing isn't enough. Oscar is gonna survive, but it's on a razor's edge.
Couldn't quite manage it. Broken Blade committed the flash as well. Ultimately, though, it's FNATIC with 2 kills on the board. The crucial thing to keep track of here... Oh, hang on. Are they going to dive him again?
Broken Blade, TP gone. He's out of all the resources he has. One more Zac passive, and maybe he can take Oscar, but the heal for extra movement speed.
Noah.
Noah gets low, but he walks out.
The thing is that the Scion is actually, like, yeah, he's giving up kills, but he's worth almost no money. And he's gotten 2 levels up on Oscarinen. So the purpose, remember, of these lane swaps is basically just to get levels for your top laner. And they also have done just more plates onto the top side.
Getting that experience from those kills is helping FNATIC mitigate this early advantage each is building top.
But BB's getting the wave every time. BB's getting the experience. He's level
Yeah,
3
Broken Blade is that. So weirdly, this is why people don't like lane swaps, but I love them. Weirdly, this is a very good situation for Broken Blade.
So even though you're getting the kills,
Look,
you are
the
still
gold difference is only 200, and Scion actually has levels.
Extra gold over. Yikes. But in the grand scheme of things, I think G2 are happy with the way things are going.
Look at this bot side control from FNATIC. Wards littered absolutely everywhere on that bot side of the jungle.
The thing is, they basically just have to keep diving Broken Blade now.
They have full control over this space so that they can continue to try and pick up what gold they can in the early game, as Hans and Mickey are doing the exact same. Because you look at the gold at the bottom, while there is a CS advantage...
Oscarinen got 2 minions, 3, 4 minions. But he has no passive, so he's actually going to be pretty vulnerable to a dive here.
We do get back to traditional lanes. Want to be able to leverage that power still, as well as keep BB low. Force him out of lane if possible.
And the fortification drops at 5 minutes. So now the tower is going to be equally vulnerable, and this should just mean a much faster tier 1.
Gonna look for the dive. BB should be able to collect the wave. He will fall again.
Now demolished on the bot side too for FNATIC. The thing is, you can just clear the wave while being dead, which is like super annoying. Because you kill him, but then you don't actually get as much pressure on the turret because there's no minion wave there.
Lulu already on it. They are already a plate ahead. And now with the turret plate buff falling, they'll be able to take this tower off.
It's going to be very fast. So now the key thing with a lot of old school lane swaps, guys, is you actually want this minion wave to die so it bounces back, and then you assign your top laner here and you freeze, right? That's the key, because what you don't want to have happen, by the way, the big mistake you can make here is that this wave pushes this way, and then their top laner freezes here, and then they catch up on all the XP that you've denied. Right?
Rotate onto the bottom side. So you have a level 4 top laner to a level 2. When BB enters the lane against Oscarinen, BB's going to be significantly stronger. And yes, it's a small gold lead.
So they're trying to...
As soon as you get this next tower, it's kind of in like...
This is not great, I don't think. This is now punishable by a good team, in my opinion. Ooh.
Broken Blade is not negative gaming. Okay? His purpose and pursuit is to get as much farm and experience as...
You see what I mean, guys? Like, clearing out this wave and not having this wave reset is pretty fucking bad.
It's insignificant, to be perfectly honest.
Because Oscarinen is there. They're not making a play on him, and now there's, like, a wave and a half that can be frozen. But Oscarinen is maybe too dumb. Let's see. See what he does.
And while he is sacrificing some kills,
And you slow push out. Oh, Hans has TP. I didn't even notice that. Brilliant. Cool.
careful. Noah's still quite
Yeah,
strong.
so he did freeze it. Good job by Oscar.
Wants to kick this fight off. Knows the handshake isn't quite there. Judd now going to be in trouble. Time bomb just ticking. Reset there. Not quite. Waiting it out so beautifully, but the reset is there for
Oh, he got his bailout.
Perfect from the side of FNATIC. Yikes, snipes one. Tremor sends down.
Flash?
Chasing down Jun.
Nope.
Sweeper as well, but Razork is here to cover. Han's getting taken out is perfect for FNATIC. Incredible patience from Jun.
There comes Caps, though, with the collapse.
Baby Cage. Caps a little bit slow on the trigger. Needs to back up. Flash.
There you go. There's the flash. All right.
For the kill. That's the ulti.
Oh, dude, giving the Zach a freeze in topside is such a fucking whoopsie.
That started off as a massive win.
Oscarinen's gonna get ahead now. This is like, you can't have this, guys. This is actually trash lane swapping.
Turnaround in the 2v2. But after that, it starts to fall apart a little bit where you get the snipe coming through from Yike and Caps managing to pick up that kill as well. And now BB starting to push Noah out of this bottom side as well.
The tempo is really messed up right now. Noah, obviously...
As I have not seen the match already. Are we reviewing the LCK Finals and LPL semis? Yes. LPL tomorrow.
They're going to start sieging onto these plates. We look back at the dive, though, as the TP comes in from the Tristana.
Yeah, as this great TP from Hansama, it could have...
Have I ever been to Cincinnati? No.
Noah just outplay it.
I've never been to Ohio. I don't plan to go. If I can die not having gone to Ohio, I think I'll be okay. I'll manage somehow.
And right here, we're going to see the back half of the play, but it's a situation where they think if they time the bomb perfectly, the bailout won't come through. They miscalculate, they let it expire, it goes through anyway, and if they had just auto-attacked and got the reset from Jun sooner, they might have been able to get the kill, but that slight miscalculation heavily in favor of FNATIC. Good news for G2, though, of course, they are able to get some kills back on the end of that play.
And it's important to remember that the fundamental reason as to why you lane swap in the current meta is to take hyper-scaling AD carries away from volatile matchups where they can be punished and put incredibly far behind. You saw the amount of dives FNATIC were pulling off against Broken Blades. Those type of plays are also possible against champions like Tristana and Lulu very early on into the game, which is what G2 wanted to avoid. Now that they've gotten to a certain point in the game where they've secured a few items, they're a lot more comfortable to actually go into this.
Wait, what are we saying here?
Very early on into the game, which is what G2 incredibly far behind. You saw the amount of dives FNATIC were pulling off against Broken Blades. Those type of plays are also possible against champions like...
Those type of plays are possible against Tristana. A dive. In what world is Tristana going to be under her tower in the early game?
Tristana and Lulu very early on into the game, which is what G2 wanted to avoid.
Tristana will be pushed. Now, Tristana is vulnerable to ganks, but Tristana's not going to be farming under a turret, guys. No. There will be no Trist dives. No. What are we saying?
Once that level 6 is reached, don't be surprised to see FNATIC looking to try and make some more plays happen in the bot side of the map.
Yeah, Oscarin is also pretty far behind. Oh, it's only just hit level 5.
You are saying you like Columbus, Ohio? I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things about Columbus. This is true. Come visit Mexico, Monty? Yeah, hell yeah. I fucking love Mexico.
When he first got reworked was ulting into the bottom lane off of a reset, and I'm looking at where PP's trying to figure out where he wants to go.
I will get to Oaxaca and eat all the Oaxacan food eventually. Give me those tlayudas and mole. Let's fucking go.
Really nowhere for him to go topside. Obviously, massive wave. Looks like it's about to crash in the tower for Oscarinen.
I think he's actually freezing it.
Broken Blade can't step up there.
Oh, hey Dave. I will come visit Texas whenever I get back to the States.
LS will be loud right now,
but not for long. Yeah, this is...
Oh, bot lane's overextended. Here we go.
It's going to be tough. They have perfect vision and try, though. They're going to know that it's coming. They'll just start to back away. Hostile takeover as well as the ulti from Varus.
I did not. Hit me up on WhatsApp. I'm using a Korean sim right now.
Cap's getting a bit of poke onto Humanoid is a nice way to start things off. Dark Matter. Getting a little bit already, and G2 aren't too
I'll check my other sim, though.
There's a warden behind G2 as well in the middle of the lane.
It's about to tick. Zach could just TP down. Broken Boy trying to back away. Flash backwards. Gets a bit of a slowdown there. Arrow now coming in immediately. Broken Blade is forced to ult, but it just means that Hansama and Mickey X are now vulnerable. Hansama leaping out. Off Dark Matter.
Dude, this fucking freeze, by the way, has been going on so long. It's fucking crazy.
There's a warden behind G2 as well in the middle of the lane.
It's about to tick. Zach could just TP down. Broken Boy trying to back away. Flash backwards. Gets a bit of a slowdown there. Arrow now coming in immediately. Broken Blade is forced to ult.
Physicist, thank you. Are you guys still doing foreplay? Yeah. Richard was just at the major and doing some stuff.
It does absolutely nothing. Humanoid happy to pick up that kill.
Great response from FNATIC. They saw the dive coming from a mile away, and in this window, what does Oscar get to do? Push out top wave. You know it's going to be a while before Broken Blade can respond. He's going to push it as quickly as he can, and while Caps will secure some plates in the mid lane, ultimately it's Humanoid that grabs himself a kill.
Difficult early game. Goal is still very, very close, but Oscar getting so much time alone and isolated on the top side, bouncing out a lot of that early game experience discrepancy that we saw. Oscar kind of everywhere on the map right now for FNATIC. Has had a solid early game thus far. Obviously a bit tricky in the lane swap, but a single item now there for Hansama. That's the TP ward you mentioned earlier, Dagda. Coming behind, but this is a tough play to make. Hansama still has flash.
It's actually outrageous that Oscar Nin is higher level than Broken Blade now. Broken Blade just hit 7, but this is like a big old lane swap whoopsie. This is like what you can't do in lane swaps back in the day.
They're actually going to keep him in this bottom side at the moment as Yike takes the Void Rooms.
I mean, Noah wanted to reset anyway, right? He was out of mana, needed to go back to base, so if anything...
Does Tristana have Demolish? No. Lulu has Demolish. I know that's shocking, but that's how G2's been playing in these playoffs with lane swaps. It's actually quite clever.
Basically just a way to provide space for Noah to get back and get that reset.
Makes sense. Of course, one more play. Looks like it's likely to fall here. Humanoid going to walk up for one last auto attack. Shift the goal just slightly in the favor of FNATIC, of course, with 6 Void Grubs taken down with that buff active now. Really have to respect the Tristana Lulu. Can't afford to leave them isolated in one of these towers. Stakes a little bit higher in the fight.
Interesting. Caps coming down to cover right now. Varus in the mid lane, transferring Tristana to the mid. Going to Costa Rica later. Yeah, I've always wanted to go rafting in Costa Rica. All right. Well, Humanoid just died to a Veigar ult. That's fun. Okay, Hans soloed Noah. Oh my god, what a disaster. What a disaster.
G2 blew open the game off that play. You're going to have the push in mid. You're going to get the tower mid lane. Yike is chasing Razork out of the jungle. And 3 kills now to Caps.
This game is garbage, guys. I want you to know that this game is garbage. Like, I can't believe that they fucking let that freeze go in the top side. That is so insane to me. Like, surely G2, after practicing lane swaps, should know not to do that shit.
Really worked out for G2, and it only takes a single moment for himself. A solo kill, a solo tower. I've been debating this whole game. Has this lane swap really worked out for G2?
No, it hasn't. It's been trash.
A single moment for them to say, yeah, we're pretty happy with how things have turned out.
No, the lane swap wasn't the lane swap was trash, to be clear. G2's lane swap was fucking hot garbage. Just because Noah decided to take a 1v1 in the mid lane versus a Tristana doesn't mean the lane swap was good.
One dead Lulu. Now Hansama might be in trouble. Well, in a blink of an eye, they got it. In a blink of an eye, they might just give that advantage away. Yordle's running on the bottom side.
I think the problem is Mickey needs to open his eyes. He ends up walking directly into the bot lane where everyone in FNATIC is there and just gets completely caught out. I think there was always going to be a bit of a risk as FNATIC were trying to unmask.
Travis' video about NA has complaints about terrible pay. I mean, NA players were overpaid for like a decade, guys, relative to their skill. And relative to sustainable esports. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Wanting to contest that dragon, naturally find an opportunity to punish. So
I mean, pay might be terrible now. By the way, pay is still better now than it was in the start of League of Legends when there was no pay.
The ultimate auto combo from Hansama. Coaching staff naturally very excited about the result of that.
Have to be, and of course that's the thing about the lethality of Varus, right? If you can dodge 1 or 2 of those key abilities and continue the trade, it's just so hard for him to.
You know, in the first season of LCS, a lot of the players were just paid $25,000 a year, which was the Riot stipend. Obviously, they had their housing and food costs covered, but you know, early days of LCS, players were paid pretty badly.
Drake's in their back pocket certainly does not feel bad. It'll be an Ocean Soul game. FNATIC, we can maybe see them group around the third and start to fight a bit more.
So LCS players also used to be paid virtually nothing. That's why they streamed.
Needs to get into a position where he can really step up and be the carry, and that's realistically 2.5 to 3 items. Noah has gone for the lethality build, which isn't bad in this situation. It's just he's not going to be the one that kills Broken Blade, who's
Jun with a flash forward onto Caps. Nice. Jun was really good in the semi versus BDS too. That's a bold play. Flash, ignite, handshake ult.
In just a 15-minute game.
I mean, Jun has been performing throughout playoffs, and so far in this game, he's come to play.
He has a 1.3k individual advantage. He has 100% kill participation. He has been good on the handshakes. Really continues to be good.
He's my supporter of this clip.
Dude, the fact that Travis is complaining about North American players making very little money in amateur competition just shows that he's not an esports OG. Remember that even in the early days of League of Legends, pre-LCS, nobody fucking made any money, guys. And yet, we still had professional players. It's almost like there was an era before venture capital inflation and people still wanted to play the game and still wanted to be esports professionals, and we still got a bunch of LCS players out of that scenario. So, I mean, most esports throughout history, even Korean StarCraft, people got paid fucking nothing, basically. You had to win your money.
To see them work more together, and in playoffs in the last two series especially, it feels like they have been more and more in sync, especially when Razork has these more signature aggressive champions.
I think it's setting up well here for FNATIC. They just have to be very careful that they're getting this mid lane tower down. Hansama and Mickey, if you just whimsy Hansama and he leaps at Noah and he's on his own, Noah dies. So FNATIC need to be very careful about protecting Noah as he goes for this mid wave, so then he doesn't get...
Would you say that low pay would actually attract higher quality talent, as those only in it for the money wouldn't be around? I mean, that's certainly an argument you can make about the quality of LCS, which is like, we don't have a bunch of washed players, imports, trying to get the bag in NA. I would argue that only people who want to be in LCS are in LCS right now, and that has increased quality.
Both major items completed, but full level advantage for Razork is going to be really crucial as we get closer to that next dragon fight. The sooner you get to level 11, speaking of Hans...
Yeah, you're right. Hans has Demolish too. They both have Demolish bone plating in their secondary trees. That's interesting. Probably because Hansama does want to split push later in the game.
Could be what determines a lot when it comes to the outcome of this game, as the Herald gets dropped by G2 in the bot side.
They're going to knock this tower down very likely before the charge even comes in. Maybe just use it on the second tower. G2, big push on the bottom side. It's going to force FNATIC to respond. Oscar topside does have TP if he wants to join the play.
It sounds weird, but okay, FNATIC are actually going to go and look to play TP into the boss. They're looking for them.
Clearing mid. There's not really great flank boards. It would be a very long flank as Caps now pilots the Herald forward. Again, the hostile takeover from Jun. Nicely placed, but only going to connect on the Caps. Noah now going to be in trouble. Here comes the Rek'Sai. The bailout doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And now Brooklyn's just trying to get out. Excuse me, Yike trying to get out. Bit of a comedy of errors there as Broken Blade's also going to whiff. Humanoid's going to flash it now.
Really bad big Earl.
They burned everything. And now FNATIC are going to try to take over the fight, but Hansama is still standing, and that is going to be a problem for the side of FNATIC. Hansama not quite finding the angles to attack yet, though. Oscar running, Razork running, Caps.
May not matter because Hansama's just untouched this fight. Alrighty.
The shutdown coming through for Hansama.
The team fighting from G2 is so much better in that moment. Noah falls. Humanoid tries to make the play, immediately gets whimsied, immediately ends up in the baby cage. And Hansama is able to finish.
This series is trash. Everyone, 2024. Well,
With Caps entering the Herald. Yike gets engaged on, but Hansama's positioning is relatively safe here. Look at this ultimate from Jun splitting up G2 initially, but the damage from Caps is already done.
that Rek'Sai ult was pretty awkward, but I guess they got no out of it, so.
Before he can get the reset onto Yike, so it ends up being a 1-for-1. But the cage in this enclosed space makes the fighting so hard for FNATIC that in the extended fight, Hansama is safe.
Hansama just flashes on top of Humanoid right there. It's pretty cute. Gets his W back and then pops over the wall, do some more damage. Well played by Hansama. Yet we are still going to watch it. Well, some of us have to watch trash so that we can issue our opinions that are informed on various talk shows.
That's big picks for FNATIC. Managing to get the third Drake from the cells. Yes,
no whimsy this time. But completely showing up in this game one is Razork and Oscar looking to kick things off. Nice input buffer from Hansama. Takes him out to safety, but it's Caps who's now in trouble. Doesn't even get the cage down. Humanoid, no whimsy this time. Mickey, lamb to the slaughter as FNATIC set for their third Drake.
that's big picks for...
wasn't the center of the story in this series, or wasn't expected, but completely showing up in this game one is Razork and Oscar.
It's a huge engage by Oscar there. They do a very good job of chaining CC.
No whimsy this time. Mickey lamb to the slaughter as FNATIC set up for their third Drake.
That's big picks for FNATIC. Managing to get the third Drake from themselves. Yes, it's an Ocean Dragon, but the objective control on this bottom side for FNATIC has been great, and catching G doesn't have a second item completed, and it is still poke Varus. You have to be careful here.
This is fast enough, though.
Nashers, not something we see as much on his ear these days, but it does mean for a faster Baron overall. Yike into the pit, hostile takeover there. Knockup is there. Razork not going to let him have it now. Hansama needs to get the hell out. Knockup from Razork is clean, though. He stops the jump. It's missed time by Hans.
Be able to take control, cause any more, and then it's off.
Drakes to FNATIC. Razork.
It's pretty crazy that they make this Baron call actually right at 20 minutes at spawn.
Doesn't have a second item completed, and it is still poke Varus. You have to be careful here.
This is fast enough, though.
Nashers.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, all things considered.
But it does mean for a faster Baron overall. Yike into the pit, hostile takeover there. Knockup is there. Razork not going to let him have it now. Hansama needs to get the hell out. Knockup from Razork is clean, though. He stops the jump. It's missed time by Hansama.
This was such a misplay off of the this could have been such a dominant game from G2 had they not let Oscarin back into this game. I'm pretty disappointed.
Going to be able to take control, find the team fights off of this Tristana, but it's fallen apart in FNATIC. They do a good job. Everyone just stops damaging the Baron. They do not cause any more, and then you have
I think it got killed by the jungle
to
pet.
try and flip it as Guy. See how much damage you do not cause any more, and then everyone just stops damaging the Baron. They do not cause any more.
That was actually Rek'Sai's smite, guys. And he smoted at 17. Yike smoted at 17 HP, so it was very close to a steal by Yike there. That is so crazy.
6 HP. I mean,
6.
it was crazy. I mean, the smite is what brought it that low. But FNATIC, their aggression is rewarded. And ultimately, we think back to when FNATIC is at their most successful, is when Razork is leading the charge.
Cap. I think it's important to highlight Cap's an incredibly crucial part of this plan, but very immobile. No movement speed steroids, no defensive tools other than the cage. He has to play this flawlessly. But he doesn't have the sustained DPS. Jun and Noah on the retreat. Oscar in as well. Jun might just have to give his life. The hostile takeover is big though. Hansama needs to get away. He's tearing through Mickey's health bar, but it's Noah now. Hansama versus 3. Tristana needs one reset. And there might be an opportunity to take.
Nah, Triss can't go in there. No flash. No ult.
Exactly. His health without Evoris. He had more members in the area. Again, a 2-man knockup. Somebody stop this. Sion Hansama leaping in. Knock back onto 2. Noah wants to fire back, but he's just without Evoris. He doesn't have the sustained DPS. Jun and Noah on the retreat. Oscar in as well. Jun might just have to give his life. The hostile takeover is big though. Hansama needs to get
Wow,
away.
Jin's Renata Glask has been very good this game.
But it's Noah now. Hansama versus 3. Tristana needs one reset.
I have not done LCK Finals. I was at the LCK Finals live, so I have seen them.
Exactly, it is Jun's initial.
Waits for the. He gets the reset and is able to then carry this fight through. But Jun with the turnaround. This guy has been absolutely fantastic.
Game, to be honest.
Yeah.
What the heck?
In the middle of.
This is such a botched game from G2, guys. Oh my god. I can't believe they FNATIC 50-50 Baroned it too. That's so bonkers.
The FNATIC have a ton of vision, and G2 they need to try and break FNATIC.
Knock up onto Jun. A decent start. Broken Blade locked up. Boris ultimate hitting multiple people. And again, the hostile takeover is there. Razork uncontested. The baby cage not in range. Cat flashing out to safety. But a clean far side alteration. Anticipating the flashback and another catch.
Gonna end the game through the front lines and into a beautiful handshake.
Alright, this is just over. Oh, I'm so sad that they didn't deny this Zach.
G2.
You play right now. 10k lead. Ocean is your 18 game. Step close in.
What a weird game from G2. Like, I really like their early game plan around the Scion. I'm not sure it was executed absolutely perfectly, but they did get that pretty substantial level advantage, and there is such a chance here just to, like, take tier 1 first in top lane. Love the Tristana, Lulu, demolish strategy. Aw, man.
G2 have been rocked, and it is.
Maybe we'll able to blaze through this one pretty quickly.
Just play the normal game. Specific matchup against FNATIC.
All right, interesting that they're banning out the Zac here, considering Broken Blade has been one of the Zackers. And what is with Europe and #1 priority Volibear pick?
We doubted it, you know, because the Ashe was also, well, now it's banned.
Kalista gone. We're taking early Jax, so we are going to take Jinx Scion.
I think you're not that
Looking like a lane swap again. No Lulu this time, so they don't want to demolish Lulu. We'll see what else we got on the table here. So this is already interesting, guys. So it will be Jax jungle, but we don't know whether this is Nico mid or support. Keria playing a lot of support, so they're trying to save it.
Like a fresh Talia here coming out from G2. I think the Talia is such high value against
Thresh.
very long range, very high.
Talia actually does have very good value into the Kalista and the Jax. But instead, we get Aurelian Soul and Azir.
Cannot do that anymore. So a lot of like aspect of laning phase got just snipped out.
So the problem here is that who is going to kill this Jinx? Right? Who is going to kill this Jinx? It's going to be very hard for them to access the backline with this composition. Pretty low range outside of like Aurelian Soul ult.
we saw it yesterday.
Probably another lane swap coming through.
But it's all about if you get to later in that game. I'm actually really excited to see June on this Nico and what he's going to do in terms of influencing the map and maybe having secret engagements.
It's so fun with lane swap, right? Because you're not used to maybe a minion of a Nico just coming up when one lane has lane swap.
Like if you're watching your flanks here against the Jax, I think it can be pretty tricky to deal with the Jinx if the Jinx gets farm.
I will say, Jun, obviously, great game one. Yeah. And all I'm saying also is the carrier today also played Nico support.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing the parallels.
He did the Showmaker fist.
And the Showmaker fist? I'm getting a lot of LCK vibes right now, you know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is if we you know, hype up Jun anymore, we'll just get a little sign on the front of the...
Jun has not been that great. I mean, he's been fine throughout the season, but he did level up. I thought he played really well in the last game, played really well in the past series.
Jun hype 25 cents. The first one's free, though, most certainly, because he earned it. We'll see if he does it again in this
First,
game.
like, the meme was Mickey over carrier. Ain't no way. It's going to like Mickey over Jun. Ain't no way.
I mean, very impressive game one. Not surprising to see the Renata Bandit game.
So, by the way, when I talked about why I thought BDS had received scrim leaks is because of this exact scenario where if they were all 5 red topside and this was a Scion dive strategy, they could have just gone down here, right? In the game of BTS G2, they had wards here and here, but you can always just clear out vision with a lens and then invade this side. And if they are in a 2v2 here, in the bot side, then there's a threat of a Scion dive early. And if they're not, then you get the lane swap you want because they're on top side. So this is why I find it difficult to believe that BDS had no intel, because 5 stacking top is just big stupid.
Yes, G2's on the wrong side of the map.
So we actually are going to see how this scenario plays out. And it will be, you know, a 3-camp jungle follow here. Potentially into a dive. So Broken Blade is here just to support. This also allows you to fast push and get level 3. So when we see this strategy, as I said, you push bot on the 2 wave. You can push bot on the 2 wave. By the time this wave crashes at the turret, because your top laner is helping your jungler, you can be level 3 on your jungler and standing there ready to dive at 220 or so.
I wonder, so like we weren't paying attention in terms of the very early levels. A bit of deep vision was invested.
We were too busy selling Jun.
Yeah, we were. And so FNATIC, I don't know if they anticipated the swap or if this was...
We played the poker game. G2 bluffed top. FNATIC thought they were anticipating the swap. They guessed wrong, which is double disastrous.
Which then resulted in a bot lane invade.
So this is what we could have seen in G2 versus BDS if G2 had just executed this strategy, as opposed to just, you know, face checking the really stupid 5-man topside stack.
Walks away, knows that he can return to top once that wave balances out a little bit. I really like this from G2 because Jinx is just the infinitely superior tower taker, and it was risky to kind of predict like this, but because it pays off,
It wasn't
G2 are gonna
risky.
be so
Let's be very clear. Man, ooh, a lot of this I think is just wrong information, guys. It wasn't risky because if they had 2v2'd, then we would have seen the Scion dive strat here.
much happier with how this early game will play out.
And don't
That's
forget
why the
also
Scion is so high priority for G2.
So they end up
Is because
pushing
it can both lane swap well, and if you happen to get into the 2v2 with a weaker bot lane, the enemy can't press their advantage because the Scion is on that side.
The downside for this bot lane of G2 is that this wave is slow pushing away from them. But I guess the good news is that they can immediately get onto the plate.
Oh god. Humanoid.
Nice use of the slow there from Humanoid to create some space between him and Caps, and also
Broken Blade is just homeless. He's just a homeless zombie walking around the map.
Singularity and obnoxious ability, and we've seen a lot. You know, when this matchup goes well for Azir, it's usually on the back of finding the scoops in the mid lane around level 6. When it goes well for Aurelion Sol, he's just this inevitable threat.
So now we actually flip into top side. So we are in fact dodging this matchup, right? Which is very interesting.
and then Oscar, he was
And so there is a tempo advantage as we walk into this top side, and then they're going to threaten the dive with the Scion. So Homeless Scion is walking around the map. Razork is here. Broken Blade's being annoying, just taking some of the small krugs. Or one of them, I guess.
Broken Blade standing next to Yike here and just ensuring that G2 can probably knock down another plate or two. Keep in mind, it's only 2 people on the bottom side, so even though
Then ATP's down here to help thin the wave. Get XP, hits 2. So this works out really well, guys, because they actually get the information that they need. So they see Oscarinen and Razork in the top side. So what this says is that there's only 2 people in the bot lane. So as long as, you know, Broken Blade TP's in a safe spot where he's not going to get interrupted by Jack's Counter-Strike or anything like that, he can actually just pick up this wave for free. So this is really good early management, I think, by G2. They're winning the plate war. They're winning the top lane XP war now.
They got info on where Razork was.
Yeah, the Razork information, I agree with Vedius. That's a good call. Is the critical piece here.
Because he's worried about the route from Jun, but he's able to catch some farm, and now he's finally hit level 2, looking to get level 3 as quickly as possible. And I don't think that FNATIC is in a position to punish him like they were in the previous game.
Caps is the one who's suffering though, as Razork just jumps in. There were already positive trades in the 1v1. Razork getting worse. Broken Blade ignited, ticking. Will delete the wave. Noah gonna walk away on a sliver of life.
Nicely done by the FNATIC bot lane. Jun gets the lockup, immediately flashes away from the decimating smash, and the damage is there from Noah in the early stages, but you are still getting a lot of terror plays taken here from Hansama and Mickey, and Oscarinen hasn't been able to farm for the last little while because he's been kind of chased around the map, got zoned off of this top tower as well. So a little bit of gold going over towards Noah thanks to that kill, but again, it's kind of Oscarinen who's suffering in this one.
And I think it's a bit of a difference between the K'Sante and the Zac. Both can function very well.
So they've had to swap Oscarinen into the bot side now. He's going to try and take this wave, but it's going to be caught as we lane swap back with the Jinx and the Thresh. So again, a little bit of a tempo advantage. We just see the plates being chipped away a little bit faster on each side by the Jinx and Thresh lane.
Finding a successful dive on the bottom side, limiting Broken Blade. G2 doing their best to keep moving these lane assignments around, trying to find a greater advantage, but half-shifted bot lane, giving avenue for FNATIC, Razork and Jun specifically, to take these grubs.
I don't think you can really trade for the Dragon on the opposite side, which is a bit of a win for FNATIC as well, because you just want to be looking for turret plates and accelerating this Jinx as quickly as possible. Jun has spotted out Broken Blade before he gets the tower, get a good chunk onto him, which will just set up now for the dive as soon as this wave collapses.
Broken Blade, no flash, no TP. Doesn't have a ton of tools here.
So the Thresh has demolished this game as part of his primary rune tree.
Scoop back, put a flash away from Humanoid. Nice play from Caps to get the flash advantage. Need to play it careful. Broken Blade again, just gonna get locked up and deleted. Zombie form. I mean, really the saving grace. Here's the hook from Mickey.
G2 finally gets something back. Game 1, it was all Broken Blade losing his life in the early trades. This time, though, they're finally able to catch out Oscar.
Okay, TP from Oscar.
In exchange, TP now comes through. Oscar knowing that he's 1v1 against the AD carry. His Caps in danger.
Caps, okay.
Immediate flash ball. Ulti coming in from the Aurelion Sol. He starts to spit fire onto Caps. The Caps has Yike to body block. That's Razork taken down. Jun running. Humanoid running.
Yikes, Q should be coming off cooldown soon. Nice, all right. Good turnaround.
back here in game 2.
Massive win for G2. They zone Humanoid off of that entire wave after they get the pick.
What does Oscar do good this series? I mean, he did a great job of freezing the wave against his tier 2 in game number 1. It like arguably won them the game.
Free bit of value, delays the recall and gets the summoner spell.
Tempo, man, it's so huge, interrupting the back.
I think you stop him again.
We're gonna look at the replay. Oscar trying to play safe, avoid the bot tower. Gets caught out by Yike, who
I love dueling a press the attack Volibear that's 2 levels higher than me. Yikes.
The hook to come out from over the wall. We move into the play. And Caps just finds a good position here. He's looking for Humanoid, he finds him, realizes I'm in danger, need to flash away. Nice flash follow-up from Razok, but I guess he should be expecting Yike considering he just killed Oscar.
The big problem is that Humanoid, the Q doesn't go through Yike, so he can't actually get the damage on a Caps because Yike is blocking the way, and that means that Caps is just able to walk through without having any...
Where was G2's advantage supposed to be on all that early swapping? Well, their early advantage is supposed to be just getting Jinx and Thresh through laning phase without losing. And also, in this particular case, it's also getting XP advantages for the Scion.
So close to level 6. The question is, are they going to try and force this fight? We see FNATIC force Dragons more often than I believe they should.
Caps going. Pushback doesn't quite connect. The Astral Flight taking Humanoid just out of the edge of that hitbox, but it will be Drake to the side of G2 again. Broken Blade likely to die in the dive. But Jun tanking tower gives him a bit of extra space here as Noah also tanks a bit more. Again,
I'm getting a lot of bounce energy this series, you know what I mean?
Broken Blade's going to have TP up again soon. First tower is going to go over to G2.
Not negative gaming, like you said in game 1, but there's definitely some question marks that can probably throw.
I mean, they're pushing this again, so Oscarinen's going to be able to freeze this probably again.
The grand scheme of things because of the debts. And yes, BB is getting to farm, but when you look at the experience, there's very little difference between Oscarinen and BB, but Oscarinen's only died once.
Do you think the lane swap from G2 specifically will do it well at MSI? I think people are going to be used to it by then. We did see not a level 1 lane swap, but some lane swapping in game 1 by Gen G in the finals versus T1. I think teams will have figured it out. And like, if you play lane swaps like this, where you let the enemy top laner freeze a tier 2, it's not a good lane swap, guys. That's not how you do this.
The main goal is to get Hansama out of this matchup, right? You don't want the Jinx to be playing into the Kalista because of how dangerous that laning phase can be. Instead, you get to reach your first item, which he has now secured. He's going to have way more wave.
See, the thing is, again, Broken Blade is actually homeless right now because of the freeze, so they have to make a play onto this top side.
With a few benefits, given as you rightly said,
like, basically, you're just trying to accelerate the Jinx into a late game scenario so that you just have significantly better scaling and range than the Kalista. And as we talked about at the beginning of this, like, who the fuck is supposed to kill the Jinx in this game? Like, how do you kill Jinx, especially with Lantern? So an accelerated Jinx is very good.
TP not quite available, most likely just going to use the Astral Flight back to mid lane to make sure that he can cover Broken Blade, get a TP bottom lane, so it is just a 2v2 now on the top side. Hansama has to be careful, that's the go sign for Jun, as well as for Razork waiting off to the side, but G2 going to back away. They know they've gotten the time, or all the time that they can on the top side as Broken Blade picks that wave. Yike, I think this might be a bit over-eager, but Caps is there to cover.
No, he's just trying to get 2 if he can, because he wants to deny FNATIC getting 5 grubs. He does have smite. Yike has smite up though. He had 2 charges of smite, so he might be able to do this.
So hard to outtrade the Aurelion Soul, but Caps extends it a bit further to at least make it even.
Comes Oscar.
Caps gonna be in trouble. Footwork forward, the extra slow now coming in, doesn't quite land the Intofu strike, but Caps has to be careful here.
I mean, this should give control enough for FNATIC to secure the grubs. That's going to be 5 on the board. Help them
if we get true funnel somewhere in the next 2 years, if we got full circle of playstyles. I mean, I think this just goes to show that lane swaps were always probably on the table for the last few years. But pro teams were reluctant to try to spend practice time with them because it takes a lot of training, and if you don't use it, then it can be kind of a waste, right? But I think it also took a meta where we see teams, you know, there's kind of a very weird balance between early game lane bully AD carries and then also hyper scaling AD carries like Jinx and Zeri. So you want to dodge some of those matchups. Squeak the Week. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
Clear this wave as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Caps keeping up the pressure mid lane to make sure that Humanoid cannot roam top.
Yeah, I don't think he can go for the dive here. G2, though. Oscar still has TP and can join this. He's already shoved that bot very low on mana.
Flame Chompers turning back on Yike.
Wow, they forced double TP. And there's Lantern, so it's just free.
They get Noah's ult in exchange. Good deal thus far.
Wow, that is a great trade.
That was a double TP, so really well done by G2. FNATIC over-invested, and because that Lantern, they're easily able to get Yike out. If you notice, no one else really approached the tower, so bait out the summoner spells from FNATIC, and even getting another play for Caps from the mid lane.
Oh my god, that's such a sexy play by G2.
Slowly accruing a gold lead. About 900 gold for the time being. Dragon spawning in about a minute's time. G2's focus is on this top tower. FNATIC, though, should be close to their first item on Noah. I imagine on next base you'll be able to secure that, and I think FNATIC shouldn't be too afraid to go for the early fight. Rylai's finished on Humanoid is a really nice pickup just because of all the utility that you get off the back of that first item. You can see these resets coming through.
The thing is, like, Callista has 3 kills, so she actually has the 450 gold bounty right now, but she's only 300 gold up. And part of this, too, has been just the bullying that's been going on in the mid lane, because Caps has been able to put together a pretty solid laning performance thus far.
Caps, but we know that as a result of his TP when he tried to make that play top lane. Saved, though, by Mickey's Lantern. Close to level 6 himself. He'd love to get that before the Dragon fight, but it does look like both teams are poised.
Are we still getting a Summoning Insight and Power Spike this week? Yeah, Summoning Insight is happening in 5 hours. Power Spike's happening tomorrow.
Prove to be more impactful in the fight to come. 6 seconds till the Cloud Drake spawns. It's not going to be a Cloud Rift or a Chemtech Rift. See where the Dragon buff takes us, but FNATIC poised to fight, clearly want to group. They should be stronger in the skirmish. Noah at 1.5 items. Much more powerful than Hansama. Broken Blade trying to get something back on the top side of the map will likely knock down this tower, but FNATIC have used this opportunity to set up control over the pit, to get mid-priority.
G2 are just going to give this. They're like, we can just get gold onto BB, we can get more tower, and there's only a single turret play left in the mid lane. Oh, tried for the steal, but there's only a single turret play left in the mid lane, so realistically, if FNATIC all reset now, Hansama just pushes in mid, and they can probably get that for themselves as well, especially with BB collapsing in onto the tier 2 with that wave. Now can sneak in behind Noah, who's by himself.
Keep your eye on Broken Blade. Sign ulti is up. Noah realizes the rest of his team gone. He now needs to back away. Broken Blade has been in fog of war a little bit too long.
It's a good read from Noah. Play aggressive onto that initial wave before BB can really come across, and it means there's no wave for G2 to actually play off of, so they have to back it on up. They will move Mickey into this bottom side to try and get some vision on where FNATIC are after the reset. We'll spot out a lot of members there.
Now you'll notice FNATIC sending a lot of resources towards this mid lane. That's because G2 have their eyes set on unlocking this mid tower, but also Herald being alive is an
Broken
important
Blade, they're going to disable the tower as well. They're just trying to kick the fight off. Jun looking for the disengage ultimate. Caps on the backside though.
Nice hook on a Razork. Oh, the flash stun. Okay.
He gets one reset. He starts to back away. They need to cancel the Breath of Light if they can, but that's the second reset. Moving right into the Decimating Smash. Forced decisive, but Noah continues to step forward. Noah, Jun, Humanoid still standing. Mickey goes for the hook, but he does not find it. The play will fizzle. The mid lane tower finally drops, but it's Oscar pushing in on the top side at the same time, and Noah keeping up the pressure mid.
A heavy commitment from G2 with which FNATIC respond beautifully. They don't even have Oscar available, and in a 4v5 with the tower disabled, they still find 2 kills.
Well, it's a 2-second disable. It's not that long.
Come out from Yike. The ultimate from Broken Blade as well. The
Force Noah's flash on that.
This ulti from Jun creates so much space between Caps and the backline. Razork immediately dives onto the front as well, gets a 3-person stun underneath the tower, and while the ultimate comes in from Humanoid to do massive...
It was a good counter engage by Razork.
They force G2 to back away while Oscar secures the top tower.
Jun getting the interrupt onto the shuffle from Caps was massive. The fact that he got that lockup means that he can't...
Win his Power Spike tomorrow.
Buys time for the Iranian Salt to come through, and then the Fate's Call from Noah means that they can't target Jun, who's the lowest member, so really well played by FNATIC in that fight, and again, Jun being the hero that FNATIC needed.
Certainly, Broken Blade now just walking away, essentially being farmed for stacks by the side of Humanoid. Gold slightly in favor of G2, but with a Herald in the back pocket of FNATIC, very likely it'll even out shortly. Broken Blade vulnerable here on the side lane. 3-man Blastcon coming over. He is in for a not so pleasant surprise. CC from the Counter-Strike trying to back off, but there's no way for him to clear. Humanoid now bringing one in as well. There's just...
It's a pretty big commitment into the bot side, though. And basically hard commit into top side and mid now. Not sure that's actually a good play, guys. Oh, all right. They have Herald. Maybe it's all right. They're trying to feed. They're trying to power Humanoid up with some more gold because he's been down.
I was expecting him to throw it mid, but G2 are cross-mapping. They know that FNATIC have invested multiple members towards the bot side. They're sieging on mids. They're going to secure this.
They're going to lose 2 tier 2s for this. It's really not worth. Okay, they don't lose top tier 2.
And they're going to be forced to disengage. Ultimately, not too bad of a trade for G2.
Humanoid is going to stay on this bot side, pushing the wave, and then start to group up with the rest of the team mid. I think at this stage, FNATIC, it's more of a, we are going to try and set up vision on the bottom side for the Dragon that's up in a minute 30. But getting that mid tower is pretty big for G2, because you will still be able to shove in pretty aggressively and then linger over towards bot, shift up towards that top side as well. And if you ever try and go for that sort of play again as FNATIC, suddenly that's another outer tower going down. A single outer tower will remain. So FNATIC definitely have to be careful about looking for these trades again.
And when you have vision control in your favor, Thresh feels like such an impactful champion, especially a Volibear as well. Obviously, this is still in the range of the early to mid game where Volibear is going to feel at his best. Will start to fade away a bit.
Do T1's fan blame Faker for the Herald play? I don't know. I don't know what the Korean fan sentiment has been. I mean, that wasn't the reason why they lost that game. The main reason they lost was because Zeus was giving up the 1v1 kills to Keen's Cassante. That had a much bigger impact on the game, but certainly the Herald play helped.
Humanoid is starting to come online. Jax is starting to come online, so you aren't as favored in the mid jungle as G2 anymore, and that could spell problems for their team fights.
And, you know, honestly, Dragon champions are wreaking havoc. It was Smolder, you know, the development arc of Baby Dragon to Grown Dragon, Humanoid from Dragon to AC-130 Gunship from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's, you know, the natural progression. He's there already. You see that dot on the ground, you know you're dead. He's got the kill streak ready to go.
Just don't give him the 25 kills for the Sky's Descent, you know?
I feel like it's going to come, you know what I mean? And I feel like there is pressure on G2, while you can always argue, you know, is there some parity in scaling between an Azir and Aurelion Sol? Certainly, but Aurelion Sol just gets so much simple value the longer this game goes.
Jun is walking up. Jun is looking.
Flashing, instantly going to grab 3. Oscar off to the side, trying to split Caps out of the fight. Mickey now in trouble. That's one picked up by Noah. The carries playing beautifully on the back line together. Humanoid finds the reset. Now stepping in, Hansama ghosting. Yike taken down. Humanoid can just fly again. Trying to split Caps out of the fight. Much simple value the longer this game goes.
So look at how this fight develops here. So I put the Azir turret up. Jun with a great engage. Honestly, 3-man engage into rooting the Jinx. That's really huge. But they have this hard point with the Azir turret to play around.
Raining fire from the skies, but Caps, Hansama, Broken Blade trying to play around this tower. Ulti going down, locking up 2, immediate follow-up though. They've got Hansama in their sights.
I mean, they got him. Man, Jun is having a great playoffs.
In the mid lane, it's Noah buying a bit more space. Breath of Light going through the fly. The tower, though, just continues. Caps desperately trying to escape, dashing over the wall. They want to follow. Noah wants to kill, but he's going to get embarrassed in the 1v1. Not today.
It's unfortunate for FNATIC that Baron isn't up.
G2 crumble in the fight.
FNATIC out teamfight G2 once again. They continue to get the better of them in the 5v5, and we have to look at the support player. Jun with a 3-man knockup to start off the whole fight cements a huge victory for FNATIC.
And you can see it here. He knows he has the Fate's Call available, so he's like, I'm going in. You better.
The Jinx flash just barely didn't get her out of that too. So close.
Start to collapse. They get Mickey. Oscar does a great job of buying the time from Broken Blade and Caps, drags them up to the top of the fight, which means they get to take care of Yike, who's not particularly tanky, and Hansama's just ghosting to run for the hills.
You're gonna review T1 Gen G, right? Yeah, I will get around to it eventually, guys.
Removed from the fight on one side, and then Hansama just didn't get to.
I saw those games live because I was at the stadium.
On the defensive, it felt like the G2's carries, the crux of what makes this composition work, never had an opportunity to deal damage, and FNATIC executed beautifully. Another Dragon in their back pocket.
And that's 2 games in a row now. We've seen G2 go for these lane swap scenarios in 2 games. It has not come down to how well you play the map. It has come down to how well FNATIC have team fought. And they have been destroying G2 every single time they meet 5v5.
And while G2 have talked about wanting to grow in the mid game, it was their early game last year that let them be so explosive, that let them blow open games in the first 10 minutes through a lot of the time bot lane 2v2. Now their lanes
I tried to wave to you. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
Despite that, are still incredibly impactful.
Faker quad game 1 was the highlight of the series. No. Genji's early game macro in game 1 was the highlight of the series. Let me be very clear. Faker made a good play, but Genji killing 3 members of T1, having Callista Spears into Elder Drake, and then walking into a choke point is fucking dumb. No coach on Earth in League of Legends is going to say, yeah, you definitely should go after the Azir instead of finishing Elder. All right? So, was Faker's play good? Yes. Was it a play that should ever have occurred? No, it was not.
Despite that, are still incredibly impactful in the games. John standing off to the side.
But according to Cadril, I am the enemy of hype in esports for having said that Genji made a bad play. It is in fact possible to recognize the fact that Genji made a pretty stupid mistake while also celebrating the fact that Faker capitalized on it. So, I mean, I thought Cadril's take was absurd. It's like, I thought your shit was analysis, man, not just being hype mofo.
He's burning everybody down. Now he has the reset, trying to get away, but the angle's not quite right. G2 now clearing up, trying to clean up the fight in exchange. Broken Blade and Yike, the last 2 members standing, but they've got the Baron buff. It's a disaster for FNATIC.
What the hell just happened? G2.
His takes are always absurdities for the Zoomers. Dude, he's just learned that the way to maximize viewership is to be like Ibai and Kameto and just be crazy hype guy and just glaze everybody. He's just a fucking donut shop at this point, just glazing everybody and ignoring all the mistakes. He's just there to hype you up. And he knows that hyping up Faker is like he just plays to fanboys, guys. Whatever. He's a millionaire, I'm not, so I must be the dumb one.
I was concerned that FNATIC was taking a flip here, but I didn't think it would happen like that. Let's keep track of Yike on the bottom right-hand side. Flash.
Sour grapes? No. I think he's incredibly successful. I just don't like his take that it wasn't a bad play, and that I also don't like the fact that he is now entirely engaged in just hype at all times. I loved him as a caster, guys. I thought his analysis takes are very good. I still think his analysis is very good. He's doing what's going to make him the most popular and make him the most money. I do not fault him for that. It's just not my shit. That's all. Just not my shit. But he has 100,000 viewers and I have 500. So there you go.
Just like that, the Azir wall comes in to kind of coax FNATIC into a very awkward position while Caps and Hansama get taken out of the fight. It's just the bruises on the side of G2 that end up cleaning up.
It was the
Baron for Caps. Also to the bottom right-hand side.
I don't really understand the play here for Baron.
I was concerned that FNATIC was taking a flip here, but I didn't think it would happen like that.
Like, they're doing this with 2 TPs up, and then they just don't turn. They make the call to finish because it's at 3,000 HP. And then it actually fucking just gets stolen by a combo of Jinx, Rocket, and Smite. I mean, credit to G2 here. Like, look at this. He actually steals it with his E. Look at this. He literally puts an E in there, right? He puts his E in there. And the E proc combined with the Jinx Rocket steals it. That's so funny. It's a good steal. Oh, he got the smite down. I see it now. He did get the smite down at the end. But it's a really good burst, guys, by the way, just from G2 in general. Because you see this, right? You see this coming in. It gets it down to right under 1,200 with the Jinx Rocket plus the E. And then he just flash smites at the same time. It's very good coordination from G2.
Flash smite. Just like that,
Don't forget my YouTube viewers. Oh no, I have 200 on YouTube right now. I usually have several hundred. I would say, you know, my average concurrent is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. It's a little low today, but whatever. Between YouTube and Twitch, like I'm a 1,000, 1,500 concurrent average streamer.
The response was very much like, it's not good, but we'll take it. Yeah.
And then FNATIC in the mid lane. You still got G2 trying to collapse. Humanoid off to the side.
Gonna get the reset. Nice hook under
But I also don't stream a whole lot. And I can't do co-streams, and so it's not bad for VOD reviews, for sure. There's league fatigue after that crazy day. Yeah, that makes sense. I also probably would have gotten more viewers by doing T1 versus Gen G, right? But I have to do this series because I haven't seen it yet before summoning Insight. Thank you, Micah.
G2 have full control over this game.
I mean, G2 are given a chance.
And I stream terrible times for NA. Oh, I stream terrible times for NA and Europe, like my entire viewer base. But guys, you know what? I'm going to be back in the States for MSI, and the times are going to be amazing for NA and EU when I'm streaming there. So all of MSI, my VOD reviews will be like morning US time, evening European time. It'll be like right after the matches end in Asia, so it'll be sick times. Times are great for Australia. Well, you will not be pleased by the MSI times then.
Well, he's forced to retreat. A nice ulti comes out from Jun to buy time for his team on the retreat, but Noah, he's got nothing left.
MSI is here. No, and MSI is in China. But because of my schedule,
uses that ulti to buy space. G2 unlock an inhibitor.
So like the games will start probably at like midnight in the US. So they'll be done at like 6 a.m. and then I'll probably start streaming at like 8 a.m. or something like that.
And Humanoid hits a 5-man ulti, but the cooldown is not there on the initial engage when he hits the singularity on the G2 backline. That slight timing difference.
How long will you stay after you go back to the US? Just for May, just for MSI. For summer, I will be back to this schedule. And then for Worlds, I will also be in Korea. But Worlds will be in Europe, so when I stream will probably change a little bit. Actually, it probably won't. I'll probably still do this time when Worlds is in Europe. Because LEC times are in the morning, or like in the middle of the night for me. So I should be able to actually do Worlds right after it ends too, pretty much.
There is an opportunity for FNATIC to set up a big play with the Nico ult.
Now look at the top right of your screen. Dragon spawning in 15 seconds.
Now look at the bottom of your screen. Look how back and forth this game has been.
And we'll get the cooking streams up too when I get back from MSI. Perfect for Europe. I can eat breakfast watching it. Well, here's the thing. You can eat dinner while watching it once I'm back in the States. It'll still be good for Europe. I'm one of the fans who ran to you and Susie at the KSPO Dome. It was super cool to see you in person. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Getting ExpressVPN has been a lifesaver. Yes. Agreed. I literally am using ExpressVPN right now, guys. It's great. Allows me to save my Twitch VODs. What are you doing at MSI? I'm not doing anything at MSI. How tall is Monty? I'm 6 feet tall. But I often wear things like cowboy boots that make me like 6'1".
But in terms of the carries, very even across the board. 2 items finished, 4 caps, 3 finished for Humanoid. Of course, Caps investing in that death cap is kind of the difference, whereas the Rylai's a little bit on the cheaper side. Humanoid puts himself in a great position there. In the bot lane, 3 items for both AD carries. So these teams are primed and ready to fight, and it ultimately comes down to execution. We know the late game threats that are Caps and Hansama, Jinx and Azir have a lot of range and a lot of hyper carry potential, but the same can be said for Humanoid.
How'd I like the LCK Finals? I thought it was awesome. Did I go there to LOL? It wasn't at LOL Park, but yes, I did go to the stadium. Did you not do a VOD review of the LCK Finals? Not yet. I might do that next week, guys. I'm going to do some LPL games tomorrow. And then next week, I might do the LCK Finals once it's kind of cooled down a little bit and people are interested in seeing it again. There's a little bit of a lull. Perhaps we will try doing that if there's still demand.
They did get a chance back into this game on the back of stealing that first Baron. Second Baron, 20 seconds away. They need to rally. They need to play these fights.
One thing I've liked since you found out about your VOD reviews is the methodology and how the strats picks can or should be, along with analyzing the plays on what happened. And I don't get that from watching the games live. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I try and make a different kind of stream because, you know, this is much more about going slow, kind of replaying the things we need to replay in order to really understand at a deeper level what's going on, right? It's not possible for anybody to do that live because you don't have the level of control, right? It's a really good engage by Jin again. We saw Keria in the LCK Finals on this Nico support pick just be absolutely crazy, too. I mean, I think he was the biggest factor in that game that they won with the Nico support. He was really good. Oh, Hansama still outside the wall. FNATIC actually playing better than I thought they would, but a lot of this is like G2 mistakes, in my opinion. Does Hans not want to flash? Well, he flashed here earlier. Well, what are we looking at? He flashes. He does. He tried to flash the first one that hit him, but he was right on the edge of the circle, and so he did flash. He did flash that one. He was on top of flashing the last one that hit him, too. It's just unfortunate that he was caught. It was good positioning by Jun.
He's already knocking down the base. FNATIC, they're desperate to keep going. They need to kill Hansama. Oscar finds the ulti. The knockback doesn't take Hans over the wall. And FNATIC, they want to end it here. They need more. They can't settle. Caps has already gotten the inhibitor. They need to get something else, but the health bars are so low, I don't even think they can get Baron.
I mean, that's the second inhibitor secured. Yike is trying to interrupt the backs. I thought the Caps may even try to end the game, but no, he's going to go for a recall 9 TP's in.
Yike is strong. Extra healing coming in from the Frenzied Maul. Another 9.
Oh my god, dude. Volibear healing so ridiculous. Look at this. So he has Sundered Sky. Look at this. This is, I'll tell you why this is possible. So he has Sundered Sky and he has Spirit Visage, so he gets 25% plus healing, right? He also has the healing from his W. So you see here, he Q W. We'll watch this slowly. So he Qs, there's the 300 HP, then he autos a different target, right? So he... How does he not get stunned? Okay, he gets stunned later, but he gets an auto off, looks like, before he gets stunned. Oh, no, that's Razork's Sundered Sky, excuse me. The 300 is Razork's Sundered Sky. So he will get the auto down here, though. And there's the W proc. Then he's going to get a shield. And remember that is going to be affected by a Spirit Visage as well. And you get the Sundered Sky procs every 6 seconds.
Sundered Sky, what a combo that Noah needs to break. Can he find Yike here?
Noah takes the jungler out. Maybe it gets a little bit easier. Now manages not quite to find one. The
Oh, dude, the extra shielding is so clutch. Spirit Visage, Sundered Sky, Volibear, MVP in this scenario, because he gets the shield too from his E, right? And then he gets more shield from the Thresh Lantern. Oh my god. Oh! Wow, what an insane turnaround. Next, go heal off wolves because you can get a couple W procs off on the big wolf.
It's a huge wave of bot side though.
They can't end this surely.
Hansama here. I think they want to try and end it now.
This next wave should be a super minion wave.
Look at the bottom right. This is where it's coming in.
They're going to try to play off this. It's bold, but it's confidence you want to see from G2. Cap still has ulti.
Is it too bold, though?
Jun punching in. Keep your eyes on Razork. Razork wants to try to turn this back, but the pushback from Hans is clutch. He buys the space for the Jinx to take over in the clutch. Noah off to the side, but it's 4 members of G2 standing tall. They're going to bring it back in game 2. A triple for Caps to end it. Humanoid, there's no way. G2, we already took out Hansama. G2 just has to try to take it. It's a quadra for Caps. They want to give him the penta. They want to give him the same treatment. Noah got a penta.
versus G2 delivery.
What a strange ass ending to that game. I gotta feel that G2 is a little bit lucky for winning that one, given what took place.
Really good into things like Callisto, right? That because
Am I weird for thinking TL looked better than this? I mean, TL's macro is very good. And G2, I think, could have had a macro stranglehold on the game. I'm actually just going to send a message to Dylan. Hold on. I'm actually really curious about that wave bounce. I just want to know. I want to know if he's not going to be awake right now. I sent Dylan a message just asking about if the lack of bounce back was intentional. Because, like, I don't know if with tower plates now, like, G2's been the one experimenting with this in scrims. And so I don't know if they have discovered another reason or, like, a reason why you shouldn't bounce it back, or, like, if there's a different tactic they were going for. So maybe I'm missing something, guys. Like, again, this is a meta that hasn't been seen in many years, so I'm confident in my knowledge of it as it once existed, but now there have been obviously a million changes to the game, so I'm just trying to understand if there's something that I'm not getting here. Might be waking up, it's 8 a.m. No. Dude, he runs on a pro gamer schedule. He is not awake. Do I think the LCK should add more teams? Absolutely fucking not, dude. I have to watch so many trash games in that league. I mean, would you guys, if I did the VOD review of the LCK finals and I did it next week, so the reason why I can't do it this week is that, so my mom just came to visit in Korea and we're taking my son to Legoland on Thursday and Friday for his birthday. And I had a lot of stuff to get. I couldn't do it yesterday because I had a lot of stuff to get ready. And I'm doing this today, and I'm going to do LPL tomorrow. So it'll have to be next week. But if you guys will still watch it next week, I'll do it next week. But it's not going to happen until next week. Garmvup, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. We're more excited about Legoland, the LCK finals, Monty. I know, dude. It's fun. We went in November. Legoland Korea. Nobody's goes, guys. It was like actually fucking empty when we were there. It was great. We'll try and get it done next week. I got a lot of shit on my plate before I go to the States, so we'll do what we can. Ever watched Fallout? That's the next episode of Nerd Legion. I have finished all but the final episode. It was better than I expected. The actors are kind of shit, the main actors, but the storyline is all right. The guy who plays Maximus is like fucking budget John Boyega. He's terrible. No, I'm not going to spoil it. Yeah, John Boyega is already a terrible actor, and they got a discount version of him. Yeah, I know. It's bad, guys. He's bad. He's really bad at acting. All right, into the next game.
If we are in a lane swap situation,
After LPL final, how many weeks will be no league until MSI? Like a week? Basically, MSI starts on May 2nd, so it'll be a little less than 2 weeks. So you won't have to wait long for more league.
there's
Solutions are.
All right. So Draven banned again. Callista going to be taken. This is the one that we always see banned. Now we're taking away the Volibear and the Scion. So what they don't want here is R5 Scion that they're not ready for. In fact, I think G2 probably more dangerous on red side with these strategies because I don't think they're going to take this away. I wish, guys, that Senna was more of a priority in Europe because obviously you could threaten a Senna Scion lane and early pick the Scion and then flex it. But whatever. It's fine. Zach, first pick priority. Okay. No Ashe, no Rel, no Vi. The thing is that when you don't ban the Rek'Sai, this is now a flex Rek'Sai. A Flexi, if you will. And that is not great.
And they're gonna go Callisto. So
for FNATIC.
Unless FNATIC throw a fast one and they lane swap on us, I'm expecting this to be a bot lane 2 versus 2. Varus likely to be the response. And we talked about Poppy earlier.
There we go.
It's Razork's go-to, right? It's one of his most impressive jungle champions. He has
Razork is a very good Poppy player. Always a pleasure to see him on that champion. So it's going to come in versus the Callista. And we are going to see the Azir once again. So now we come out with some Sport Bet Nautilus ban.
give him one.
Okay. Just going to let him have Nautilus surprisingly low priority here. They're banning away the Nico because they don't want to give away Callista Nico to Mickey X, but we could still just take Callista Nautilus here. Or we just take the Twisted Fate. Now we show it's a Rek'Sai jungle pickup.
Not great.
Brilliant Soul taking their time. I will say, in the world of Mickey X Dark Technology, many years ago when he played a bunch of games with Reckless and Solo Q, the Twisted Fate support, Twisted Fate Zillion bot lane was a thing. So there might be a world where Twisted
Yeah,
Fate
it's unfortunate that Jonathan Major is such a scumbag because, like, he is a fucking amazing actor.
Renata comes through that we have seen across playoffs and across this, honestly, this entire year.
FNATIC's comp is well-rounded, very similar to what they've done so far in this series. Strong bot lane 2 versus 2. They have relatively weak sides. Their engage isn't the best.
So they are just going to take the... Nobody wants Nautilus.
You do have the advantage of a lot of...
Nobody wants... Is it the Kang guy? Yes, the Kang guy. He's a really good actor.
From the Aurelion Soul. And the Blitzcrank is going to round things out from G2. So G2's a lot more like...
Oh, the Crank coming out versus Varus Renata. You love to see it. Okay, so they're definitely going for the 2v2 this game. It's like they successfully baited out the Scion ban, and now they just get a bunch of Giga priority picks, like Twisted Fate, Azir, Callista, and Rek'Sai. I think G2's draft is kind of illegal, honestly. It's a pretty fucking good draft.
A lot of ability to create chaos. They don't have a huge amount of utility. They don't have an easy way to actually engage onto these fights. And they're kind of reliant on FNATIC coming into them, which when you're playing with Aurelion Sol and Varus, you don't necessarily have to do.
I'm just pointing out, this would actually be a good game for FNATIC to lane swap. Because you've got the Renata.
Dagda,
you
stop
go
it.
top. Oscar Ridden on the Zac can actually farm, and we already saw with Zeus in the LCK. TF not exactly the best when it comes to surviving those lane swap scenarios. So I'm just...
FNATIC's not going to lane swap, though. Oh my god, it's bronze. Here comes the Blitzcrank invade. Level 1. It's the 5-stack Blitzcrank engage from your... Or level 1 from your fucking bronze games.
There's no one here. They probably know.
Congrats.
I will say ambitious.
Congrats on what?
Blitzcrank can do it. You know, the man who literally
is the...
Thank you, Garm Vup, for your gifting sub. I appreciate it.
This is a bold call and a lot of faith in individual ability for Mickey, who hasn't had the flashiest series yet. The Thresh game was all right. The first game on the Lulu was a bit of a travesty. Now FNATIC setting up a level 1 of their own.
Why are we at 480?
Hello, FNATIC. Some sneaky shenanigans, which Caps is
Said that so intimately. Hello, FNATIC.
I mean, it's a calm setting. I'm working on my ASMR voice, you know.
Yes. Alternative career path.
Oh, I was wrong. They actually are going for the lane swap. Very interesting. I didn't think they would do this.
Now FNATIC setting up a level 1 of their own.
Oh. Hello, FNATIC. Some sneaky shenanigans, which Caps is
Said that so intimately. Hello, FNATIC.
I mean, it's a calm setting.
Individual ability for Mickey, who had.
So it's interesting that they go for Poppy with this ward right away, and then they start to stack into the river to see if there is, in fact, they don't get all the deep wards in because they only have Razork go in, but they're very confident in their level 1 abilities.
Hello, FNATIC. Some sneaky shenanigans, which Caps is.
Yeah, Cap sees Jun, so he knows that there's definitely some shenanigans because Renata wouldn't be there alone at level 1.
Working on my ASMR voice, you know.
Yes. Alternative career path.
The Raptors. Look at how they fall.
It's a good call by FNATIC, though.
Broken Blade trying to steal them with the red card. Oh, close.
Just leashes.
Wait, they lane
So Jun right there for a leash. Not sure that taking all that damage from red buff was necessarily worth it.
They lane swap. They literally said, hey, G2, guess what? You know?
Yeah. Nice try, guys. Not exclusive to you. We can also watch NIP bots.
Yeah. Broken Blade, is he looking for a level 1 mid gang?
Really bold. The level 2 from
Dude, he goes in with the ghost for the gold card. Oh, I forced his flash. That's pretty good. Is he going to have pick a card up again? Oh, here it comes.
Gold card. WQ, one more auto, but a dive on the bottom side. In the meantime, Oscar now going to be in trouble, but Mickey's taking the tower. Mickey.
Ooh, he lives.
Hanzama wants to finish this desperately. They need to finish off Oscar, and they should grab the first kill. It's first blood on the bottom. A dive on the bottom.
That was so close.
Leverage that advantage, but now he's going to get punished for it. A quick flash out to safety.
So basically what's happening here, guys, is because they see 2 in the mid lane, right? He thinks he can actually go here with the TP, but he is wrong. There's still 3 people on the bot side. Yike is still on the bot side. You know, they actually, I think, know that Yike is there. No, they don't. Actually, the ward falls off, so they don't know that Yike is there. So Yike actually goes... What was his path? So he goes Wolves, and he just directly invades at level 2, only with 1 camp. And he doesn't have... Wait, what? Yeah, he doesn't have E yet. He has Q and W, so he has no tunnel. So that was a bit of a miscalculation by Oscar. You know, Oscar actually would have gotten clapped this series if G2 had frozen him at any point in time. Oh, buddy. Lol. Oh, no! Oh, no. It's so ugly. Oh, it's so ugly.
Humanoid laughs at them as he glides over the wall and gets Razork 2 kills. BB hard overcommits to that play, flashing in and then face checking the brush.
Why they banned Draven? Because they always ban, everybody bans Draven against Hanzama. Oh no. It's a fucking train wreck.
That said, Oscar getting the Broken Blade experience here in the early game.
Razork actually got a nice deal of his, which sounds weird, own Raptors. Because I mean, there's less camps on the bot side here for Yike. As he starts to transition back up on towards his top side to be near Noah and Jun. So nice pick, but Humanoid still the focus here.
Humanoid Astral Flight out, Razork there to cover. Not really a lot of angles of attack here for Mickey.
Gentlemen, I'm about to read you Twisted Fate's passive, loaded dice. Upon killing a unit, Twisted Fate rolls his lucky dice, receiving 1 to 6 bonus gold.
Okay.
Small problem. He currently has 4 kills. What
Of units.
Of
Of any kind of unit.
The problem, right, is that Broken Blade in these lane swaps, this is why Zaya struggled so much when HLE did the exact same thing to him, when you just deny the ability for him to farm. Oscar's fine being a low resource carry, right? He just needs to get health and he can ultimately still do his job. But for Broken Blade to be effective in a side lane, gold is super important. And being able to leverage the passive is one of his big strengths as a top laner.
Will Riot fix this lane swap before MSI? No, they can't. Because they are not fixing it in 14.8, and that's the MSI patch. So God bless. Lane swaps at MSI will be a thing. I'm so excited.
Trying to match back towards the top, but of course the swap comes through from Noah and Jun. Broken Blade is forced to play in the defensive. He goes back to the reset. He moves into the top side of the jungle. Only level 3 for him. Admittedly, Oscar is still only level 1.
Yeah, he's been hanging out around mid lane, just hoping to, it looks like, sap some XP, maybe provide a little bit of threat here. Does get spotted.
Could have got the ward XP. No.
Little extra damage now as Humanoid just continues to play a little bit forward, hoping to bait gaps in, it would seem.
The stretching, or the slingshot even, also scales with levels, so it's a little bit unfortunate. I don't know what Oscar actually started. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm pretty sure it was a Z, but it doesn't have the actual range on it to jump in.
Oh, it's cute.
Caps is on the opposite side. That was cute, was it?
Yeah, see it there as he observes Tackle over Zach. This is it's a
Do you notice what Broken Blade is doing? He's just shadowing his bot lane right now to get a little bit of experience. He's trying to get whatever he can. Hansama should take over to level 5.
Imagine you have to follow an 80 carry around on a champion who objectively gets more gold per minion kill. And you have to just sit there and watch him.
Is that Mordekaiser ult change going through for MSI? Yes, it is. But I think I agree with LS's take where it's like, you know, if you were going to get Mordekaiser ulted, like by a flanking Mordekaiser, there's a million other better champions than Mordekaiser to flank you with. And if you have enough money to like fucking pay that tax, the QSS tax, like it's kind of whatever. Honestly, I think. I'm not sure that's going to be the biggest change in the universe. Wow, nice ult. Oh my god, hell yeah. That was really nicely done. They had burned Humanoid's flash earlier.
G2 equalized the kills. Oscar will finally feel the grace that is level 2. And the fans are up for G2. Hansama has now finally got the matchup that he's been looking for.
Impact is a Mord merchant internationally pulled out 100%. That's actually probably true. It was a good observation. Latvian guy, like that feels like something Team Liquid will do.
Noah for the time being. But again, the game plan of this swap was not necessarily that Noah and Jun couldn't lane into this Kalista Blitz. It was more so about putting Broken Blade behind. And the man is only level 4, 7 minutes in. And even though comparatively Oscar is even more behind, he's going to offer much more value as we enter the mid-game.
Definitely is, but still quickly approaching a 600 gold lead. So in the context of the 1v1, it would be easy to assume that Broken Blade is really building a significant advantage. But as you highlighted, Betty, as long as Oscar hits level 6 and has enough HP to push 3 buttons in a team fight, he's always going to be able to deliver that value, whereas Broken Blade, yes, he can just be a gold card, but if there's no damage follow-up, it's not nearly as much CC as Zach is going to.
I will say that one of the things that we see with lane swaps, though, is that towers fall very, very quickly. And if you have an isolated lane where Broken Blade is able to abuse the fact he has that level advantage, it will become very easy for G2 to, even with BB behind, shoving a wave, teleport mid lane, catch Humanoid off guard, try and use your lane states to your advantage. So you still do have to be careful as FNATIC, and I think that's why getting early dragons here is actually going to be quite good for FNATIC. The fact that they can try and use that to force fights away from Broken Blade, just being able to use this level and gold advantage over Oscar.
Yeah, ultimately G2 now have what they want, and you can see that Broken Blade is proving why this matchup can be very difficult for Oscar, getting bullied out.
FNATIC Razor, Cook gonna hit the Gromp.
Whoops.
Definitely not. Frog gonna throw an auto back in vengeance. Noah hits decent bit of poke here. Obviously, as we get later into the game with 3 relatively squishy members in the Azir, the Kalista, and the
It's pretty crazy that we see this gold lead developing. You know, now that they're back in standard lanes, and you'll notice what FNATIC hasn't done is they got the initial lane swap, but they actually haven't been using any of that tempo to do anything. Like they're not doing what G2 did, which was push forward and then lane swap back. They're just agreeing that they're going to play this out now. Jun's dead. Nice Kalista ult.
Jun was already a dead man rocking. Razork on the way down. He wants to turn it back. Noah
Oh, they can't kill Yike.
Get enough damage here. Just going to be that single kill on the bottom side in favor of G2.
Insane hook from Mickey connecting with Jun, completely pulling him out, and Jun invests everything. The flash, the heal, the ultimate trying to escape, but G2 are able to chase him down with Yike being there with the ultimate himself.
I mean, Mickey on the hook champions, both previously and currently, definitely having a stronger performance than his game one. He is looking, but he realizes Razork is a little too close for comfort, so they're not going to take that gamble. But this is the ideal setup right now for G2. Mickey
Waiting. A bit low. Razork definitely not the target that he was looking for here. Hansama doesn't have the defensive tools to get him out. Now it's Hansama who's going to be in trouble. Twisted Fate maybe
Poppy old hits.
but instead he's going into the mid lane. Hansama now dropping down. Yike pulled back by a clean
TF just went into the mid lane so they could kill Humanoid, but Oscarinin was also there? Why was Oscarinin there? Oh, he actually just walked down for a gank, so it was responding, I think. Yeah, it was responding to the Zac engage in the mid lane.
Twisted Fate maybe just threatening, hoping to move his way in, but instead he's going into the mid lane. Hansama now dropping down. Yike pulled back by a clean handshake. Does have the tunnel to take him to safety, and now it's Caps who's in trouble. Oscar, he spent half this game at level
What a
1, level 6.
wacky-ass game.
Finally here, and he puts it to good use in the mid lane.
back to bot lane. Razork is looking for Yike.
Smite, extra movement speed, finishes it. FNATIC keeping pace with G2 in the early game.
Humanoid did fall in
You turn video volume a bit. It's both not loud enough and just quite enough to be torture. Yeah, I can turn up the a little bit.
Been a devastating pick on the Jun is massive for the FNATIC crew.
Ultimately, I think a misplay from Mickey. Doesn't realize that he's just standing on a ward. FNATIC know they have a health advantage as Jun makes his way back out onto the lane. The reset hasn't come through yet from G2. And then Hansam, I think, gets...
When will Monty get oiled up on stream? Oh man, that's a different kind of stream.
Into a number of kills. Great stuff from FNATIC, showcasing that they themselves are excellent at those early game skirmishes and 2v2s.
Reassigning their bottom lane to the mid lane, hoping to get a bit of pressure here. Obviously, strength of the Varus, even at level 7, 4 points in the arrow. Plus Hansama in isolation, no summoner spells, and it's now Hansama who's isolated. Up against Oscar, he's not going to be too concerned, but because he doesn't have the blade of strength of the Varus,
What the fuck is Hansama doing?
Plus the opportunity should let
Like, Broken Blade is playing TF in the top side. He doesn't actually have TP to cover this, right? And he doesn't have his ult anymore, and even if he did, it's only level 1 TF ult, and he's walking in top side, so he has no chance to really respond to this. Super awkward push by Hans here.
Mickey on the chase, gonna try to pull Humanoid out, but Hansama surely doesn't have enough life. He continues to dance. He's getting away.
Oh my god, I can't believe they actually maybe turn this around. No, they don't. Poppy's here. Amazing that Hansama lives.
Completely going wide there on the initial hostile takeover. Mickey going to be sacrificed here. FNATIC at least going to walk away with one. Yike debating if he can save his support, but I think he just has to walk away.
Dude, Callisto ult. So troll.
To keep Mickey standing.
I think Oscarinin messed up the start of that play. If he queued the minion and auto-attacked Hansama, he would have managed to get the kiss. But
What belt are you in Muay Thai? There are no belts in Muay Thai, my guy. Muay Thai doesn't have a ranking system. I think you're just trolling tree lines. That's not a thing. I would be highly suspicious of any Muay Thai gym that gives out belts, by the way. That's probably not a Muay Thai gym you want to go to. I've trained at really good Muay Thai gyms, and I've never seen that.
A few HP bars. And they could have found themselves a few more kills.
Sounds like a guy who is a white belt to me. Yeah, okay.
Coming up here, but this really just a shell of a turret to defend. No one else on the way quite yet. Razor can pay his attention topside. Broken Blade delayed hitting the tower for an extra second to drop down and place that vision ward. Make sure they could see exactly where the lane assignments were going to be from the side of FNATIC. And now G2. Pressure across the map in their favor means easy access to the second Drake of the game, Cloud. Will tie things up 1-1.
Calling BS on this one. I mean, my first like 3-4 years of training was at 5 Points in New York, which has national champions who are coaches. So I don't know about that one. Pretty good gym. Do I watch UFC? No. I prefer one championship because it's pure Muay Thai. I'm not really an MMA fan.
We look ahead to the game with FNATIC slowly building this gold lead. It's going to be very important that FNATIC don't split up, that they don't let themselves get caught out by the potential combo of the Rek'Sai and the Twisted Fate, or Mickey hiding in the brush here. Losing mid lane tower would be devastating early on, and while Humanoid has had luxury in so many of these games on the Aurelion Soul to be the one flanking, when the destiny is there for Broken Blade, you have to be careful about fishing for those angles unless you're going to be the one to get picked out.
For sure. Destiny primarily used there just for a bit of information, along with getting back to lane. Caps, is he in danger here?
Fly forward, extra slow coming in from the Rylai's. Caps patient though, not going to burn any unnecessary cooldowns. Doesn't have the flash.
Rylai's doing work there for Humanoids. The bot tower should be exchanged finally for FNATIC. They get themselves on the tower kill board, but the gold largely remains even between the two teams.
TF pushing in the top side as well. BB, we got a good amount down thanks to these extra void grubs. And with Rift Herald now about to come up as well, I think there's a world where you just reset as G2's bot lane, rotate to mid lane, send BB bot, and you threaten Rift Herald. Why BB is able to threaten that tier 1 on the bottom side. So G2 in a really strong position when it comes to the map state, even though FNATIC did manage to just pick up that bottom tower.
I think like the equivalent in Muay Thai, if you were going by the BJJ ranking system, would be that I am probably like a brown belt in Muay Thai, because I think you have to do 8 years of training to be considered for brown belt, which is about where I am in Muay Thai. So I think that's probably my BJJ equivalent.
Zone broken played away, secure this objective, push in another wave on top, have Humanoid catch mid, and then use that pressure to maybe drop a few wards in the enemy jungle. You can already see a few of them dropped. Some deep wards here and here from the side of FNATIC. Those are going to start to get swept out by G2, but it ultimately sets up FNATIC nicely to be able to contest this Rift Herald after they've secured the tower.
I think for G2, it's about trying to play off of mid-wave here and see if maybe
You think G2 wanted to practice their lane swapping in these games, or do you think this was the optimal way to win? I think they had some good lane swap early games, but they misplayed the wave bounces. I sent Dylan Falco a message to make sure I'm not going crazy, or like, it's possible that G2 like discovered in their experimentations with lane swaps in the current meta some things that I don't know about. So I sent him a message for clarification, but I doubt I'll hear back for a little bit.
G2 to get the resets to get Hansama back on the map. Now the TP
He might not tell me to, so. Or if he does tell me, I might not be able to talk about it, because they may not want it, you know, publicized, and obviously I'm not going to do that.
G2, it's about trying to play off of mid-wave here and see if maybe you can try and
Pretty good collapse here on the side. Over push here, looks like by Noah and June.
And look for the tier 2, which is why you can see Yike hovering here, trying to spot what FNATIC are up to.
Crucially, FNATIC take one extra wave to push on the top side, and that allows G2 to
Actually committed TP to this as well.
Now the TP coming in. Razork looking to disengage, takes Mickey out. It's Yike now.
I get 2 TPs in return.
For Razork, Yike in trouble, goes unstoppable for a brief moment, but he's going to be a dead man walking. Humanoid on the chase, ready to watch the skies descend upon G2.
I mean, you get the big Aurelion Soul ult out, and you get 2 TPs. You lose Hansama's flash, but it's not actually too terrible for G2.
Coming through, courtesy of Jun, but it's Razork in the darkness, finds the angle to lock up Caps, but there's no follow-up. FNATIC, though, surely have access to the Herald now.
Access the Herald, access to mid-tower.
Do you think Rodtang will have CT after his Muay Thai career? What do you mean, after?
And the rest of the squad as well.
Important to remember that
I think Rodtang has CTE now.
Then they overstay for a wave, and that's the window that G2 tried to punish. They still need to get that reset off, spend some of the gold that they've been sitting on, but great play by them to punish the aggression from Yike. I ultimately think that G2 was too disconnected in their approach. The fact that Hansama
Do I think Riot will nerf lane swaps if it catches on? Yes. I think they fucking hate lane swaps.
Yike isolated to secure that kill. FNATIC then trying to chase for more could have been dangerous, but they interrupt the backs enough to allow them time to reset and come back out onto the map.
Which is too bad, because I like lane swaps.
This mid lane tower, because if they'd gone for Herald and taken that extra bit of time, BB and G2 could have gone mid.
Trying to step up. Hook gonna hit a minion, trying to predict the angle onto Noah, excuse me.
I wonder if that was Jun that moved him, and then the hook actually connected, or whether the hook came out first, not entirely sure, but still, the idea, very cool there from Jun. The whole bottom side in control of G2 as the Dragon spawns in 45.
Yeah, I think G2 just really want to try and get the mid tower, and unfortunate that they haven't been able to get that pressure on towards mid. As I was saying, like, for
lane swaps are super boring to watch as a viewer. No, I make them fun for you guys because I explain them. I think the casting around lane swaps in this series was really not good. I think it was not good. It was not well explained. They didn't explain a lot of the stuff that I think should have been talked about in terms of like the lane freezes and everything.
Likely to reveal himself in the bottom lane as pings are coming out. It looks like they already have the vision. FNATIC know they can step forward now.
I think you just have to cast them well, which is difficult, but
the
Possible.
This game starts to feel for G2. Broken Blade in the 1v1. Not too much kill pressure right now as Oscar already has a bit of extra armor. Broken Blade trying to flash away, trying to sidestep, waiting for an opportunity. Throws down the gold card immediately, TP's out to safety. It's pretty clean!
Wow.
Right now as Oscar already has a bit of extra armor.
He actually flashes this engage, gold cards, and then TP's out before Oscarinen can use his ult. That is actually super well played by Broken Blade, guys. That is crazy.
More resources than he would have liked. Out to safety, it's pretty clean. Broken Blade trying to flash away, trying to sidestep, waiting for an opportunity. Throws down the gold card immediately, TP's out to safety. It's pretty clean.
You know what's funny is Oscarinen used his ult anyway. He actually used his ult as he came out of that stun, and he didn't get CC'd by it.
But BB is able to escape him because Jungler showed on the top side. It's an immediate Drake start for.
The tags of this stream are hilarious. Yeah, I updated my tags to my stream after I got a Reddit hate thread to remind everybody that I am in fact washed, an Overwatch League caster, and crawling back to League of Legends. So, I just want to make sure that everybody knows I know these things too.
He's going to try and contest the dragon. If he contests the dragon, then I can actually keep sieging top because Oscar doesn't have TP to get involved in the fight. So G2 creating points to pressure across the map made it hard for FNATIC and guaranteed G2 at least one objective.
FNATIC are slow onto the Riptail though because they reset Jun and they reset Oscarinen, which means that G2 have a play. Dench on this bottom side.
Scoop back. Yike, they're not quite going to find the angle now. Humanoid can chase the follow-up, but Mickey's here. 3v2 in the favor of G2. Where's the hook going to go? Mickey hoping to find the angle. Hostile takeover does connect.
For the most part, Jin's Renata ults have been very good this series.
Yike wants to do something else, but here comes Oscarinen in the range on the Zac. Disgusting. A nice knockup from Yike to make sure they can get out to safety. Stretching strike doesn't connect. The Sun Disc raised to make sure that G2 can retreat. FNATIC is continuing to chase. Keep in mind, Noah coming from mid lane as well. Oscar, the range, it's just too much. Humanoid just continues to fly. Yike very likely to give his life in this one, and in the extended play, it's FNATIC coming out on top.
The chase will continue. Caps gets locked down.
Morata's on a Hansama just trying to get the slow from the Rend, and again the Aurelion Soul. Every time he gets a kill, it resets flying towards G2. Caps now down as well.
Greavy's going to push in this top side, but you do have the Rift Herald still for FNATIC. I wasn't sure.
His life is to make sure.
This game is actually just hilarious. This entire game has just been side lane collapses for alternating between teams.
The Sun Disc raised to make sure that G2 can retreat. FNATIC is continuing to chase.
Dude, if Oscar had by the way, if Oscar had ult up for this, if he hadn't used it earlier, one wonders how this could have gone. Because when he comes in right here, he has flash up, so you know, the flash Zac ult could have been super good.
Very likely to give his life in this one, and in the extended play, it's FNATIC coming out on top.
The chase will continue. Caps gets locked down.
Morata's on a Hansama just trying to get the slow from the Rend, and again the Aurelion Soul. Every time he gets a kill, it resets flying towards G2. Caps now down as well.
Greavy's going to push in this top side, but you do have the Rift Herald still for FNATIC. I wasn't sure if they wanted to try and just crack open an inhibitor on the bottom side now as they try and trade, but they're going to look to reset, go into mid, and look to take the mid lane turret instead.
The frustrating part for FNATIC is that they are winning out again on fights. Multiple times we've seen G2 try to force something, and Dagda was already highlighting it because FNATIC was slow to start the Herald. G2 know they have numbers advantage, but they try to force a dive. Great flash from Humanoid with Jun right at his back. Still, G2 commit. Mickey takes 2 tower shots, brings him down.
Dude, that is so bad just to walk up to Renata with ult like that.
Look at the mini-map. Razork already makes.
By the way, Yikes Unburrow right there, so clutch to actually stop him from getting CC'd. He actually nullifies the engage. He nullifies it twice, dude. What a psycho. Yike actually nullifies the Zac engage twice with Unburrow.
The problem then becomes now they're over-committing members on the bot side. They have no one to deal with the pressure top, and Broken Blade secures another tower.
And that's why I wasn't sure off the back of this how much FNATIC wanted to push, because you could have just tossed down the Rift Herald, look to take the tier 2, and then look to take the Herald into that bot lane tower as well. But it looks like they just want to try and get this mid lane turret. If you can keep G2 pushed back, it becomes less of a threat on a side lane. But we'll have to see if he can find some space against Oscarinen here. But TP now in behind him.
TP flank, Humanoid Oscar.
Broken Blade, no flash. Easy to interrupt the ulti out with a single auto attack.
Find some space against Oscarinen here.
Dude, this whole game is just side lane collapses with TPs. and chases. This is so funny to watch. But the thing is, they can do Baron. Guys, they can do Baron. Just do Baron. Oh my god, they used the oh they used Zackle too, guys. They used Zackle. Broken Blade has Ghost. He just walks away and gold cards him, and then he TP's out. Oh, he can't keep getting away with it, and then it's just a fucking free Baron. Oh, the Fnatic Y. All right, the Poppy ult actually saves this game because Oscar has no ult. Oh, flash on Burrow, huge. Poppy ult saves the game, guys.
Nice interrupt on the dive back from Oscar Rinne, but has he given his life? Good gold card for the singularity, the slow, so obnoxious now to deal with. Jun getting shredded. Handshake hits onto Yike. Yike needs to walk away, but Oscar again dives in. The reset's going to start to come through for Humanoid. He has the power to continue to find these kills.
Oh my god, they're fighting here. Caps is huge. Caps is huge. Oh, all his sand soldiers were there. Look at Caps, guys. All his sand soldiers are here. All of them. Oh god, right in the choke point behind them. Oh my god. And now they just get fucking Baron for free.
Caps refuses to die and finds the kill his team needs.
Somehow, that is an ace for G2. It was they who started off the Baron. It was FNATIC who responds. The fact that Humanoid took so long to arrive looked good, but the Poppy ult was even better. Keep your eyes on Razork. Knocking the Kalista out of the fight means that Mickey doesn't have the Kalista ult.
Yeah, if he doesn't Poppy ult right here, then the Baron's gone.
Isolated. A good flank arrives in from Oscar, and at this point you're thinking.
The thing is, Oscar used his ult in the bot side, so he doesn't have it for this fight, which is really fight defining. And also, they only get kind of the one man Renata ult, and then Yike gets a great flash on Burrow here. So they get the immediate kill onto Poppy, and then they just start chasing into Azir. Yeah, they just don't have Zac ult. G2 plays this well, though, in terms of kiting.
The CC isn't there. BB's able to focus.
He's just getting the autos down for free on the side. Mickey X actually just comes back into this fight after dying too, which is pretty enormous.
Now the handshake down. The CC isn't there. BB's able to focus one side. Caps is safe over the wall.
Caps here with the Azir turret is just so huge.
It's Caps'
Gold card under Alien Soul.
That really won the fight in the end. FNATIC overextend into this choke point, allowing G2 to turn things around.
Very good. Guys, nice.
And as Broken Blade said, very good, very good. Hook connects.
Maybe not the ideal target, but Oscar's still very squishy. Remember, he's had absolutely no money this entire game. Humanoid throws down the ultimate, but he's right next to Broken Blade, and he's starting to hurt. Yike coming in as well. The bailout gonna do
connects.
Thank you. Kill Med Skill. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
FNATIC overextend into this choke point, allowing G2 to turn things around.
Very good. Guys, nice.
And as Broken Blade said, very good, very good. Good hook connects.
Maybe not the ideal target.
So Zac gets hooked, and he has no passive, right, after that last fight. So he gets hit with a bazillion damage immediately and just gets chain CC'd to death. And then Broken Blade, we have this Aurelian Soul is just standing next to Broken Blade.
Very good, very good. Hook connects.
Maybe not the ideal target.
What is Humanoid doing, dude?
But Oscar's still very squishy. Remember, he's had absolutely no.
He literally just flies next to Broken Blade and gets giga autoed from the brush until he dies. What the fuck is that play? That was so bad from Fnatic. Holy shit, Humanoid, what a terrible play.
G2 again taking the fight. They'll clear the Herald out, and they're starting to take over this game.
Back-to-back aces now for G2. It's been the FNATIC show when it comes to the team fighting, but
thanks for the great content. Nice to see some calm and collected LoL content that's informative. I don't know, guys. I could do some more screaming.
Will finally fall, but I'd like to see the replay and the positioning of Noah, because we've seen FNATIC force fights without him before, and when I saw the end of that fight, it felt like Noah only arrived at the end, and I have to question if they really need
Optimal Aurelian Soul play is to fly directly into Twisted Fate auto attack range and then just die.
We've got a Zac. He is tanky. No, he's not. He's level 11. He's only got an item and a half.
Not enough glazing for my taste. Oh my god, Caps is the best mid lane player ever. Can you believe how good he is? Hey guys, have you seen Faker play? I don't care if Chovy outplayed him in the final because Faker is his name. I'm gonna hype him up.
Twisted Fate, and yes, money is fake for Twisted Fate. He got $1 million.
People inting into Faker. Oh, it was all Faker, guys. Faker is a goddamn genius. He mind controlled Gen G into walking into a choke point when they should have been finishing Elder. What a fucking god. Goat player. Goat, 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 goat. There you go.
Trying to force the follow-up engage, though. Razork, there's nothing else. Razork goes in alone. Picked off. They continue to auto-attack the tower. One single minion, all that's left. It looks like they're going to go for the inhibitor, then they should back away. They don't have to wait, but in the meantime, it is Broken Blade in the mid lane trying to kick things off. Good singularity coming in from Humanoid. Excellent follow-up ulti to eliminate it. And now
True Glaze will only happen if you're watching Keen or Score. Hey, you tell me who deserved to be glazed more in those finals, Faker or Keen? You tell me who deserved the glazing. Who deserved it?
Still standing at Caps. What's to make the difference? Leap in, hand delivered to Hansama. The Callista taking over, and Jun, the last man standing in the blink of an eye. G2 are looking to take us to match point. Noah versus 3 carries on the side of G2, but G2 don't want to throw it away. They don't want to give it up. They'll back off.
They did walk into him. Yeah, it was a good play, guys. Like, I totally am not trying to say that Faker didn't make a good play, but it was, like, really dumb from Gen G.
The play in their favor, but Caps is one of them. G2 was fumbling. They were over-aggressive. FNATIC with a great response. You'll see here, the ultimate comes out relatively early, but a good hook from Mickey connects onto Razork. He gets melted. Broken Blade flashes away to safety. Now they begin their siege.
Look at the Caps play. Yep.
That does a huge amount of work.
Here we go. Caps is going in, guys.
Does a huge amount of work, lowering HP.
So he gets pulled in by Handshake and he just goes back.
Handshake onto Caps on the back line, and
right.
This ultimate stunning up the bot lane, separating out FNATIC. Noah has to base.
He's got to flash in, guys. He's got to get that Aurelian Soul. They do get him. It's all right. That's a good Caps play.
They're able to win out the ending of the fight.
Also, just the Astral Flight being interrupted by Humanoid by Yike meant that he couldn't follow up onto Hansama, who was pretty vulnerable with the direction that Aurelian Soul was moving. So a lot going the way of G2 in that fight, and now a lot going the way of Caps with the damage as they start to move in towards that last remaining inhibitor.
Who do you think deserved MVP of the LCK Finals? Chovy. Dude, the fact that Chovy was winning those lanes versus fucking Hail of Blades Azir is crazy. Look, I am the Keen fanboy, and even I think Chovy deserved MVP.
Full control with 2 inhibitors down over that major objective as Cap standing off to the side. Doesn't feel immediately threatened. Does have to give some respect over to Razork, as well as the engage that could come through from Oscar. But G2 just playing this one out slow. Now, got to be careful. If they overcommit to a pick here, they could just lose the game. As well as the engage that could come through from Oscar. But G2 just playing this one out slow. Now, got to be careful. If they overcommit to a pick here, they could just lose the game.
Humanoid just coming back out of base.
I think he's at 50% HP, so the poke is definitely working from FNATIC.
How come we don't have any It's Chover memes for Chovy yet? We got to find the right picture of Chovy to 1-for-1 with his head looking down like Joe Biden. I yearn for It's Chover memes.
Now all of G2 instantly turn back to the tower. Now they back up once they see the opportunity is passed, but it's the R flash again from Jun to kick things off. 4 members connected, and it's Oscar into the backside, ready to get things bouncing. It's the ulti from Humanoid as well, and FNATIC may have just found the fight. Mickey trying to interrupt the Aurelian Soul. Hansama's still living, but it's Caps.
Caps is gonna win the game. LOL. No, just end the game, you fucking troll. Thank you.
Once again, it's split pushing Caps that secures it for G2. Love the innovation from FNATIC to engage on Caps, force him back, and then TP flank turn onto the 4v5. Unfortunately for FNATIC, G2 buy enough time for Caps and Broken Blade to find the back door. 2-1. Now G2 lead the series.
That was such an incredible ending. It looked like FNATIC had maybe found their moment, but Cap says, I've had enough of this. Let's get us.
They didn't even fill the LEC studio. Yeah, that's pretty depressing.
Fortunately for FNATIC, due to buy enough time for Caps and Bro
Moment, but
to find the back door
for this.
And Final am Sonntag. Alles in der Olympiahalle München. Auf gar keinen Fall verpassen. Außerdem kann ich euch mitteilen, dass
All right, guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then we'll be back for the final game in this not very exciting series.
The first game, there's definitely a way.
All right. Last game, guys.
For them to turn this around. The question is, how are they going to do it? Can we get a little bit more stock standard in terms of how we approach the laning phase? Draven, Sion, Orianna taken away from the side of FNATIC by Ashe. Momentum that they found in the first game, there's definitely a way for them to turn this around. The question is, how are they going to do it? Can we get a little bit more...
All right, FNATIC choosing blue side again, so that means they're going to ban the Sion Draven, like we saw previously. I do think the Rek'Sai is probably higher priority, but they're going to take away the Orianna instead. It'll still be Vi, Ashe, and the Rel for G2. So again, Volibear. So we have Kalista up. We have Rek'Sai. This Rek'Sai priority is very good, again, because they can flex it into R5 as top or jungle.
Worth going to the, and going to be the
That'll be an early Talia this time for Caps. So switching it up, we are going to take Azir and Varus. Jinx again, so you got to assume the lane swap shenanigans are coming in. Should be a jungle Rek'Sai, one would think. Question is whether Broken Blade takes the Zac now.
The Zac pick himself if he wants to.
Yeah, that's what Dagda was just saying. I think the Zac pick, pretty telegraphed for G2, is a possibility.
Question is, did G2 want to reveal that just yet and then save their top lane pick for last? Swap gen.
Yep, there's the Zac pick. That's not surprising at all. Cassante and the Rakan. Let's take Thresh as the final pick. So lane swap probably incoming again from G2. Have you seen TES/BLG and TS/JDG off stream? TS/JDG, yes. TS/BLG, not yet. I will be reviewing those tomorrow.
Approach is this time. It's been a lot about swapping in this LEC finals. Something that we weren't expecting based on how the spring split has gone, but is the reality that we live in. We're jumping into game 4 as FNATIC fight to bring us to a game 5.
Will we swap champions? Or will it be 4 back-to-back splits for G2 for the 4th time?
It's so Chover.
In this organization's history.
That's good.
Match point for them, of course.
I like it.
Most successful organization in the history of our league. Just continuing to extend that lead across 2024.
With the most successful player we have in our league as well, with Caps. I mean, this would, if he wins, this would be his 12th title in the LEC, which is just an absurd number of titles for him to have picked up.
Yeah, and again, for FNATIC, their last title was when Caps was their mid laner. And I think for this organization, it's so critical as they, you know, look ahead towards international competition that they know that this modern era, the modern era of FNATIC, is not defined by Caps, and that they can reach those same heights.
Minions have spawned.
CG2 stacking up in the bot lane. They're considering a delayed invade here. Jonas going to spot that out. Should be able to ward and get away to safety. Has the ability to scale the W if he's in any danger. Here comes the delayed invade, and here we go. Able to ward and get away to safety. Has
All right, so we are not going to see a lane swap this game. We instead are going to see the invade
Good information, though. Sweeping out, they assume
into jungle takeaway.
G2 not playing with perfect information
this is
anymore.
very awkward.
Oh, why did they let this go? I'm actually really surprised that they didn't just wait for them to face check the brush
G2 not playing with perfect information anymore.
and stack it here.
They're being corralled. Number 1 for Noah, stronger overall, courtesy of the Hail of Blades. Mickey taking a decent chunk, but it is going to result.
Like when you have the Volibear and the Halo Blades Varus there, I think maybe you go for that a little bit harder.
But Broken Blade is here.
Oh,
Okay,
never mind.
we're mostly standard lanes. But that's a Zac. Good bit of poke, flash forward for the play there.
Wow, flash fly, okay.
And keep in mind, Yikes here for the potential follow-up.
Burn Noah's flash.
I mean, Brokenblade is losing a whole wave right now. He needs to TP back to top.
Look at Razork though. Razork hid in the enemy jungle. He took the blue buff. So now you can, as you say, TP down, and you've got Razork here.
Wait, but so they get the TP, now they TP back to top?
Yeah, TP back top.
They're gonna turn onto FNATIC, but now they can turn back FNATIC.
Yeah, it doesn't have E yet. All right, so this is the play. This is the play, by the way, that BDS tried to do against Heretics with Sion last year, right? This is the play that you're supposed to do, which is this. This is a second wave crash, right? This is a second wave crash into taking two camps, right? And this is what BDS tried to do with the Sion last year. I think they had 3 camps by the time the wave crashed. I'm not going to go back and review it, but basically the idea is this. If the top laner is pushing up, you can force their TP into the bottom side, then your top laner TPs here into the top side. If they don't TP, you dive the turret, right? Now in the instance that BDS did this, they actually fucked it up because Adam tries to TP out of this brush, and then he just gets CC'd by Thresh, Mursa on Thresh, which cancels his TP. So they bungle this play, but this is how you are supposed to do it, is threaten it on a dive. This is a second wave dive threat, and they have no way to actually CC you. So Broken Blade pieces out. Now Oscarden is very awkwardly on the bottom side of the map. You can't follow up. It's over.
I think Razork made a mistake. He went on towards Hansama and Mickey instead of going on towards Yike, who was caught in the enemy jungle. I think with the numbers advantage that FNATIC had.
So now you just catch up and you have a free. You actually develop a freeze as a result of this play. Because look at the result of this. Is that the timing around this? The timing around this. This TP is really awkward because the wave is not actually into the turret. The wave is not into the turret, guys. So basically, Broken Blade gets a free freeze here. Look at that. Oscar trolls this. Oscar trolls this, guys. He TPs too early, and he basically freezes himself. So now Broken Blade gets the ideal scenario where he just tanks the aggro of the caster minions and he has like a massive freeze. Dude, he just froze himself. Oh my god. Like, first off, you do not have to TP so early. You can TP after they commit to the play, to be clear. He literally just panic TPs when the wave is coming in, even though Volibear's not there. And I actually think what Razork did here was pretty smart in terms of getting level 2 off of blue buff and then doubling back down. He's watching the bot lane wave develop, and as soon as he sees it's a second wave dive. Remember that they didn't finish taking this camp, and even if they did, Yike would not be 3 off of 2 camps, right? He only has red buff, okay? And so effectively here, you can actually wait for them to commit to the dive, because then you can TP and just clean up. Like, yeah, sure, maybe somebody on FNATIC dies, but I think you trade up 2 for 1 in this case, and you don't get yourself fucking giga frozen. Whoops.
Man advantage, 4 members here, but G2 walk away.
I think Razork made a mistake. He went on towards Hansama and Mickey instead of going on
to FNATIC, but now they can turn back FNATIC. Man
down, and you've got Razork here.
Wait, but so they get the TP, now they TP back to top.
And also, Razork shouldn't be wrapping around here. He should be trying to deal with this, because Razork has Q up, and he could actually interrupt Broken Blade's TP. Like, he could. That's such a mistake, actually. You know, he has flash, so if he is coming this way, he could flash. He could just Q, or he could flash Q onto Broken Blade, and then he interrupts the TP. Oh boy. I agree with Dagda there. Dude, this freeze is so brutal.
instead of going on towards Yike, who was caught in the enemy jungle. I think with the numbers advantage that FNATIC had, they could have just killed Yike and then still made it back up towards the top side to cover. But
Well, he could have denied Broken Blade's TP too.
G2 get away with it.
We put it into context. Noah's lost his flash. Oscar's used his TP. Broken Blade also used his TP, but he's now got the wave in a state where it's basically frozen underneath his tower. He still has.
Oh god, this is so bad.
Slow push back away from him eventually, but the wave and a half that he lost initially, he gets back thanks to the fact that Oscar had to commit his TP bot to stop the dive from happening.
And this is big from G2 because now Yike can set up for the repeat game.
Yeah, Yike can, or Razork can actually just cover top here though. He needs Razork to come and help him break the freeze. So the problem is that now Razork needs to go top in order to stop this freeze, but they can now make a play on the bot side as a result. Because Yike hits 3. He actually just kills Gromp to get 3. And he still has flash, so he can flash on Burrow. He has E, he has tunnel plus flash. Yeah, there it is.
Flash forward, the knockup, the chompers, the flay back. Noah's now running. G2 going to turn away. Jun just trying to get the hell out of dodge. One more auto from Hansama should finish it. Level 3 for Noah. Tries to get a bit of damage back. It takes longer than expected, but first blood for Hansama coming through.
And this was the other part that we didn't get to hit on. The fact that Razork didn't get any of his bottom camps because G2 would take them meant he had to go top. And now, Cap still needs to be careful because Razork is on the top side of the map, but he will just back away from Humanoid. But that meant that Yike knew there was nobody who's going to answer him when he went for that play on bot.
Did Monty say he's going to review the LCK Finals? Possibly next week. If you guys actually watch it.
Flash away from Humanoid. Clean thus far, but he needs to get Soldier of Razor coming in to try and finish the
Oh, Caps, he gets cock blocked by the crab.
blocking his escape, an ally to FNATIC, no doubt. Razor trying to get the stun. Broken Blade can now look to come in. The elastic
there he goes. He got his Fury up, so he got the Eat Broken Blade.
Yes, he autos the tower. He brings it back in Psycho. He flashes.
Wow, dude. What a play, actually, by Broken Blade. I didn't see that.
Elastic slingshot. Where's it going to go? Does he want to commit on a Humanoid? The answer is
He misses his Q, too.
yes, he autos the tower. He brings it back in Psycho.
That's funny.
And he lives. He's out of there.
What a play across all fronts. FNATIC, Humanoid using the flash to dodge away from Caps to set up the kill for FNATIC, and BB sailing gracefully underneath the enemy turret to finish off Humanoid in response.
So this is the standard lanes that we were missing, gentlemen.
Thank God we got it back.
Wait, Humanoid.
The end of the wall.
He's walking the wrong way. The footback's already hit. That's a Rek'Sai coming over the wall. Mickey going in as well. Nice sliding glide.
But can he get away to safety is the question. Volibear is on his way. Humanoid trying to create.
I like how Rek'Sai is just slightly faster in burrowed form, so it's like a Jaws moment where it's like dun 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 dun. So she slowly creeps up on you.
Damage to finish off Humanoid. The 2v2 stronger overall for the side of FNATIC. Not quite enough for Razork to body block.
Awkward.
Able to finish the job with auto attacks, but now FNATIC descending upon Broken Blade. They find the stun. Oscar looking to follow up with a Q3. They need to interrupt this elastic slingshot if they want to try and find the kill. Broken Blade kept his passive in the previous play, but there's nowhere or no one around, to support him. FNATIC dominate on the topside river.
It's an overcommitment from G2 this time. They chase Humanoid into the river incredibly deep. And it's Razork that's there to respond. We draw your attention to the minimap. You notice Razork making his way to the top side. Volibear is still one of the strongest early game skirmishers. They take down Yike and they use their numbers to win out against G2.
Press the attack Volibear pretty good in these early game scenarios.
To get the speed up from the fleet footwork, which barely buys enough space from Yike to get the Volibear involved as well, and then knock back on the Broken Blade. They're just able to shut him down with the roam up from the support.
And frankly, it was fortunate that G2 were even able to grab the kill back onto Humanoid. It was a single large rock where Razork anticipated a backstep from Caps, clicked, Caps forward stepped. It would have hit the Volibear, but because
I was watching LCK Finals live. It was great.
Humanoid ultimately goes down. And
it was really fun, guys.
Gold now dead even. 4 kills to 4. Nobody has touched an objective. There have not been a lot of plates getting hit whatsoever. It's just an even match here in the early game. Now the
advantage this early on against the Varus lane, which you don't typically see considering the scaling element of the Jinx. But in the top side of the map, it's all Oscar. He's finding advantage. He's going to find another one.
No passive for Broken Blade. He goes in, he goes out.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. 2-0 now, 3-0. He finds a solo kill onto Broken Blade, who's not even level 6 yet. He's going to be the strong point for FNATIC in the early game.
And perfect timing there as well. Caps has started to roam up. It just hit 6. They wanted to make a play onto Oscar and Broken Blade trying to bait it, but just goes that little bit too hard. And Oscar Innan's able to punish as a result. So G2, the play fizzles.
This is really another, I think, missed opportunity by G2, where they had a very favorable game state due to their early game shenanigans that was then kind of just blown.
Roamed up towards the early skirmish, but Mickey now spotted as Razork finds him.
Play on a Razork. Hook not going to connect. Yike fishing for the follow-up. Razork's going to walk away for now. Flash forward the Lantern. Unraveled Earth going to get laid down. Flick back on Razork is clean. Knock up there as well from Yike.
Okay, excited. Nice play. Force flash from Noah. Yike should be able to flash. Nice double knock up here. What do you think of the Noah Thorn exchange on X? I don't know. Pretty funny, I guess.
G2 want to crank it up to 11. I'm going to third kill now for Hansama.
I had a chuckle.
Tower open. He's going to open up this gold lead even further on the bottom half of the map. PB being a nuisance trying to proxy, but has been caught.
Likely to fall. They need to get the CC down, though, to stop the elastic slingshot. Takes as much time as he can as it drops. He knows that Oscar can just interrupt him mid-flight. With the Cassante W. Broken Blade going in.
Does he TP? Does he TP? He can't.
No, he's just buying time. I think he's just trying to stall the wave.
He's trying to get the wave.
He knows as long as it's just Razork, he doesn't do enough damage. Now he's going under the tower, trying to backstep, gets one more blob, goes in, just deletes most of that wave, and will at least stop a push-out response from the side of FNATIC.
I'll say I'm a little surprised by the behavior there from Broken Blade, but hey, he makes it work somehow. Now the roam comes in from Caps and Yike. No level 6 for Yike yet, but level 7 for Caps means here comes the Weaver's Wall.
Yike. Level 5, that's the setup. Caps might not even need to use the wall. Waiting for the easy knock-up setup. Pull back there from G2. They see the TP. They use the Lantern. They walk away. Good use of resources.
Do they go for the run back? They know still that Oscar Renan... Oh, no, he's phased.
Oh,
no. G2. Resources.
Do they go for the run back?
Knock-up setup. Pull back there from G2. They see the TP. They use the Lantern.
Oh, no.
Way.
Where did Oscar base? Did they see him with the pink ward?
Do they go for the run back?
I think they saw him with the pink ward. Yeah, they did. Ooh.
Oh, no. G2, if they suss this out, they got tremor sense. They see 2. If they blind predicted Oscar's gone, oh, that's going to be embarrassing. That's going to hurt. Flick back, connects onto Noah. Immediate hook follow-up. This time there's no cleanse.
Oh, God, they wasted TP for that, too.
Flash for Noah to get away from that either. Razork will pick up a constellation prize, the Void Grubs, but this bot lane is completely out of control. Every time
dude, 2,000 gold lead for Jinx is so fucking crazy. It also just doesn't matter if Zach is, what, 600 gold behind? Who cares?
This Jinx is huge.
And that means there's that much more pressure on Oscar. The strongest point on the map right now for FNATIC. He needs to find a way to make his lead a lead for the rest of the team, because Jinx is going to be a problem in these fights, and Broken Blade being at a deficit isn't going to matter as long as he buys time for a couple of Hansama auto attacks.
The most impressive thing from G2 this game is just how they've...
Are we ever getting top 5 Monty back?
CPs. We think back to level 1.
I mean, people didn't really watch the top 5 plays.
Bots to just waste time. You know, the fact that they had
it's a lot of work for me to do that too.
To walk back to top, allowing Broken Blade to TP back to top after getting the flash out from Noah and then ganking that bot lane. Just an incredibly well laid out early game plan, which is paying fruition as Hansama finds himself with a 1.8k gold lead.
And Broken Blade wandering in just to harass Noah. Does good damage in the 1v1 as well. The Varus is already so far behind. Broken Blade is too, but you're going to favor the Zac in this one. Takes a bit more time, perhaps a stretching strike. No,
oh, he checked his auto.
Unstable matter.
Oh, it's unstable matter. My bad.
But you're going to favor the Zac in this one. Takes a bit more time, perhaps a stretching strike. No, that's going to be a little unstable matter.
He did check his auto. Lol.
And that's what I wanted to highlight, was just how far behind Noah is. Obviously, you've got the 2k gold lead, but experience-wise as well, He's almost 2 levels behind Hansama, and this is now getting to the point where this has to be the Oscar and Humanoid story. If Humanoid can get to a later portion, he's going to be fine, but G2 are just running away with this early game.
But the problem is, now that you've made the swap, Broken Blade is starting to catch up a little bit in terms of the gold lead. He's put Noah even further down, and the one strong point...
Yeah, FNATIC is not winning a championship this year, guys.
Hansama, the strongest lane on the side of G2. It feels like they're just outmaneuvering FNATIC on the map right now, and the options are getting smaller and smaller.
And you just lost another wave on the bottom side because you're trying to get Noah back into the game for Oscar in as well. So the BB getting...
It shouldn't take FNATIC, like, actual heroics to beat fucking BDS, guys. That shouldn't be a thing.
TP advantage, Broken Blade on the way in, looking to rinse and repeat what happened earlier. Stretching strikes, autos the minion, pulls him back. Mickey and Hansama on the way in. They're going to take their time deciding who they want to donate this to. It will be Hansama, but Noah, I mean, focused, shut down. Humanoid finds the angle in mid lane. He and Razork desperate to get back a bigger lead.
A much needed play for FNATIC as Noah is being ruthlessly bullied. You highlighted it, Dracos, the TP advantage for Broken Blade. He solo kills him, and then he TPs top, man. The poor boy doesn't get to play League. 0-5-0. The gold lead is 2.5k now. It's going to be a tough road for Noah to get back into this game.
And even on the cross map, you're going to see Hansama should be...
Think Heretics can make it to Worlds? I mean, I think they definitely have an opportunity to do it. They were much improved, but... I mean, that perk split is definitely going to take its toll on their chances in terms of championship points.
Because there's no one there to defend us.
You've got to think about the impact this has on your mental as well. The repeat ganks, the trying to stay calm. You know you're at match point. G2 in a position with this, they will win their first spring split of our format. Remember, they failed to even make it to the finals of last year. And Noah's in someone who's come up clutch multiple times for FNATIC when they've needed him, and G2 have set that back.
Love the content, miss the casting. Yeah, casting's great.
The problem now is
if casting is fun. If I could just cast without any of the extra like Riot bullshit surrounding it, that'd be awesome. But unfortunately, it's just not worth the price of admission.
Feels like a death sentence. We talked about Oscar earlier. He still has that lead, but Humanoid.
Which team do you think is getting the VCS upset? Oh yeah, let's go Liquid again. Or G2. Feels like G2 might get upset by a VCS randomly. FlyQuest? Yeah, FlyQuest could be a VCS upset angle too.
Now we have to wonder if he has enough left in the tank here in the game 4 to take FNATIC to Silver Scrapes.
It's going to be incredibly hard as you look at the map. G2, they've got the...
I don't know anything about Linkus, guys. I don't pay attention to Tier 2 Europe, so I don't really have any good takes about whether that's a good move for Vitality.
To push out, cover potential plays in mid, you can start to look towards objectives, establishing vision on this bottom side of the map. And FNATIC, they want to try and interrupt that by attacking BB, moving towards the opposite side of the map where they might have strength, but you're just too slow. G2 have already pounced onto the bot lane turret, and that's a full health tower for G2 on the top side.
It's dire straits right now for FNATIC.
Oh, he's going to clear the wave. The rockets. He wants. I think he'll. Oh, nobody's down in front of us.
Nice idea there to slow them down. G2 continuing to push in bot lane. Oscar, very tanky individual, but is he tanky enough?
For the knockup. Yike, Alti is going to come out. John has to do his best to interrupt. Good knockup on a Yike, denies the play. Nice all out coming in from Oscar. Noah finds the kill. Gets a bit of money in the back pocket and a sign of hope for the side of FNATIC, but G2 will not take their foot off the gas. They've set their sights on that mid lane tower. Humanoid doing what he can to respond to the top lane.
FNATIC need to keep responding to the aggression from G2. Good cross map on the top side to get Humanoid a bit more.
Herald play as well. It's pretty good for FNATIC. Like they cross map a full health, full HP turret in top side, get Herald and get the kill in bot lane. It's really good for FNATIC.
The advantage on the push on bot. They were going to be able to reset, group on mid quicker, group up faster, abuse the fact that they had these leads from the attack speed buff that Hansama has. But with Yike overextending, G2 have to placate. They have to play more passive. They can't get these advantages. So it is the turnaround in the tempo advantage. And now FNATIC can actually group up, look for push on mid, look for some of the control that they need on this top or bottom side of the map to hold for bot terror, to hold for the dragon in 2 minutes time.
And it's important when you look at the gold at the top of your screen, you see a 700 gold difference, but it's more important to look at the individual differences in lane. As Yike caught out here from FNATIC, they find an excellent pick. Bit more control, bit more gold back for them. And again, Hansama is the gold for G2. If they kill this Jinx, FNATIC are favored in every single fight. And now they're already looking to get themselves a pretty sizable lead.
Yeah, FNATIC actually with a gold lead now, too.
Love this from FNATIC. Great pick. A second one onto Yike. They secure the bottom tower. They're going to.
It's actually pretty awkward that Talia's in top lane right now. His lane assignment's a little wacky.
Love this from
Yike caught out here from FNATIC. They find an excellent pick. Bit more control, bit more gold back for them. And again, Hansama is the gold for G2. If they kill this Jinx...
I guess they're going to push out, then recall for Drake.
Mickey going to get locked down. They're going to delete him right as the fight starts. Brokenboy debating. Steps up, finds the auto.
Why are we fighting? Why are we fighting this, guys? Why are we fighting this? A minute and a half before Drake.
Brokenboy debating. Steps up, finds the auto.
Fight. The Herald is just walking off.
Brokenboy walking up.
Caps is actually just sitting in base, and then he TPs. Okay.
Brokenboy debating. Steps up.
Broken Blade goes in a little bit too early.
Doesn't really mean anything. G2.
Very questionable.
Rek'Sai also isn't there.
G2. They just give another kill over to FNATIC. They're happy to take that. The Herald secured another charge. And FNATIC, considering the position of their AD carry, they are still being proactive on the map. They're still finding opportunities to stay alive in this game.
And now FNATIC can reset, push mid, threaten mid tower, and threaten the dragon as well. And if you start to stack up some of these dragons, G2 aren't going to be particularly happy about it. Only thing that they need to worry about right now is Humanoid will need to go towards that top half to clear out that wave and at least get the push to make sure there's no counter punch from G2 onto the top tier 2. But I think FNATIC in a really good spot now when it just comes to controlling the map states.
Still have to keep our eyes on Hans, of course, for the side of G2, but FNATIC have done a beautiful job coming back into this game. Noah's still at a massive deficit, but his job now isn't really to do damage. It's to keep mid-push up as much as possible, to poke a little bit here and there, to leverage that ulti, and to take the time that he needs to get a few more items under his belt. Looking to take him out. Hansama often on these hyper carries, and anyone on this Jinx really is going to feel like a ticking time bomb, but thus far, FNATIC have done a beautiful job making
Oh my god. Good thing he has fucking lantern. Holy shit.
This time Noah had the boys.
Had the boys, but hadn't got the opportunity to try and move in towards Dragon. You still have push here for G2 on both side lanes, but FNATIC should be able to deal with this reset.
This is really awkward for G2 because this should have been their Drake. I don't know why they fought.
Trade the presence on bot to top.
Trying to push away. Nice flash backwards.
All right.
Looking for the setup. Humanoid just barely able to walk away on that one. Broken Blade now TPing in, but here comes Oscar in, and that's a damn strong Cassante. They're going to have to respect it. 4 members for G2. Should just break the tower, knowing they've got the Drake in the meantime. Ultimately, the trade.
Why is FNATIC trying to make plays on both sides of the map at the same time? Guys. Guys, why are they trying to defend this turret while taking Drake with 2 people on the other side of the map? They literally have to use a TP because these 3, or these 2 guys, are trying to defend this turret with 5 up here from G2. While they take this, Noah has to run all the way over. They have to use TP. Why are we making plays on both sides of the map at the same time? If we're FNATIC, why are we doing this? It's actually so troll by FNATIC.
Just not really doing much damage yet. FNATIC holding on. G2 get the tier 2, they get the kill.
Volibear in the mid lane. Going to get the mid tier 1 though, actually not going to be able to. But he had a bit more damage under his belt, but G2 being able to back away will be able to keep that pressure in the mid. So FNATIC end up sending all the members to Dragon, and G2 counterpunching top exceptionally well.
10-10 is the kill score. 1,000 gold separates the teams. It's unfortunate for FNATIC the Humanoid lost his life on the top side just because originally had a 1.5k gold lead. Cap securing that kill helps close that gap significantly. Still a death cap advantage in favor of Humanoid means that he's going to be a very strong Azir for these upcoming fights. But G2 seem to wisely be avoiding these full 5v5s and instead are trying to play around picks because they have to respect Oscarin and how strong this Cassante is. We all saw what Keen was able to do this morning. When this champion gets ahead, it can be terrifying to shut it down.
Definitely can. It'll be hard, even with a Thresh or Rek'Sai as Act, to stop this Cassante from running through these fights if his lead continues to grow. Hasn't built any of the more traditional anti-crit itemization, not seeing a Randuin, not seeing a Frozen Heart from him yet, but Hopefully gets a bit more MR under his belt. Expect that we will see more focus on making sure that Hansama can do nothing to hurt him in these exchanges. And Oscar also a guy who's not afraid. Hold that thought. Jun picked out. Will just force the locket cooldown away.
This still gives space to FNATIC though to get the mid lane turret. And Hansama going to come to try and wrap around. Razork is shifting topside, so maybe they want to look for a pick, but there's so much vision up on this top side for G2 because that's where they just a minute ago put all their pressure. It's more FNATIC having to clear out all that space, and they still haven't been able to put the pressure they want to on towards mid. So I think FNATIC wanting to get some control around the Baron area for themselves, but not getting much more out of it.
Good diligence from G2 to lay down some vision in that damage. Close it here.
Garrett's going to ARAM now.
Aim for either side with an insurmountable advantage. Mickey stepping up. Good hook onto Jun. Play backwards, but Jun dashes out to safety. Meeting McHale. Mickey's targeting himself, but Cap's the one who's caught out. Broken Blade not doing a whole heck of a lot. Hansama trying to auto over the wall, but he hasn't found
Thing is, Hans is huge here from the flank.
If he finds one, they're likely to take more.
There we go. He's excited.
Now going to start coming through. Flashback from Noah, trying to stay standing, but Hansama, look at that attack speed. Oscar Renan,
Oh.
the frontliner, the one protecting the rest of this fight for FNATIC. Push away. Fight fizzles. 2-for-1 exchange in favor of FNATIC. Only Humanoid going to die in the play.
Great pick from Humanoid. Getting Caps. I was a little bit worried once Humanoid went down because, as we've already said, Humanoid kind of has to be the main damage source for the FNATIC lineup. But because they've taken out Caps and Hansama wasn't really in a position to get enough damage off,
It's a good play by Humanoid there to get him in straight into the Rakan charm.
Nice play from Humanoid, but as you rightly said, it takes a little while. The ultimate from Hansama already connecting onto anyone, but he's ultimately untouched on the backside, forcing FNATIC to retreat. They still win out on the fight ultimately because they walk away with 2 kills, but you can see how close and how tense it really is. Hansama only continues to get stronger. His Infinity Edge is on the way, and when it comes through, is really where G2 are going to be at their scariest point, now that Caps has that death cap completed as well.
And that's the IE. Right.
Oh, there it is. Right, never mind.
22 minutes in. Had enough gold.
Wow, 3 fucking items at 22 minutes. Looking good for Hansama.
Truly terrifying. 4th item, Lord Dominic's feels like the death sentence for FNATIC. The wall now coming in. Noah caught out, manages to make it to the other side, but now he's locked in the 1v1 versus Caps. Trying to find the good side.
This is W, doesn't matter. There we go.
Enough HP, shut down for G2. Clean pick in the middle lane. Broken Blade, though. Overcommitting on this one.
Broken Blade.
Walks back to the wall to try to get support from the rest of the team. FNATIC caught
Lantern.
in the 4v5, hoping to pick off Broken Blade. Push back from Humanoid is not what they needed. Does not connect. G2 happy to walk away, happy to run towards the Baron, knowing that major cooldown is not available.
Broken Blade's E coming up at just the right time, and Humanoid whiffs the ulti, gives way for G2 to start off the Baron. Noah still 12 seconds away. Razork needs to find the type of play that Yike found earlier
Broken Blade still has ult.
Oscar takes absolutely no damage. Good poke now coming in. Broken Blade trying to
Oh my god, the huge Zac ult. He absorbs all of the CC. They use the Cassante CC on him. They use Cassante ult. And they use Rakan ult onto him. Great engage from Broken Blade. Broken Blade's been really good this series, guys.
G2 find the fight that they needed. They get
long enough. Now Dom. Broken Blade trying to disrupt.
Noah still 12 seconds away. Razork needs to find out. Team FNATIC sidestep. Caught in the 4v.
Just doesn't have enough HP. Lord Dominic's feels like the death sentence.
The question here is, like, why is Noah pushed up this far alone in mid lane when there's a Talia in the game?
But now he's locked in the 1v1 versus Caps. Trying to find the good side steps. Will make it away, but just doesn't have enough HP. Shut down for G2. Clean.
Lantern was used there for Yike.
Overcommitting on this one. Walks back to the wall to try to get support from the rest of the team. FNATIC caught in the 4v5. Hoping
at just the right time.
Oscar takes absolutely no damage. Good poke now coming in. Broken Blade.
The timing on that elastic slingshot coming back up with the 0 ult was pretty crazy as well.
He wants to be endless CC from the Zac and the Rek'Sai. Hansama now dominating the front line, freeing up so much space for him to do his work. Jun running, trying to peel for Oscar. Noah now coming in, but Oscar drops, Jun drops, and Noah is not strong enough to face the wrath of 5 members of G2. Nobody's going to drop, and they're going to go right back to the Baron.
G2 find the fight that they needed. They get onto Humanoid. He tried to get onto the mid wave, and by the time just like that, they
Yeah, this TP was really good. It split Noah off from his team alongside with the Talia wall.
We can catch Noah. He pushed too far up. He tried to get onto the mid wave. And by the time FNATIC come in, it's already a 4v5. And Hans Sama, great positioning over the wall to make sure that no one can threaten him.
I don't even think Noah oversteps. He just doesn't respect the ability for G2 to collapse. Good old D to start things off from Caps. Then Oscar being the front line. You look at how low G2 actually gets, but Broken Blade doesn't care. He and Yike dive onto the back line. The carries play around that. And Razork really isn't able to do much. Gets thrown around. G2 secure another. And then when Oscar in and drops, it's just a sad day for Noah, realizing I've just died and I'm going to get sent straight back to the fountain.
Now it is really hard for FNATIC. They're at a huge deficit. G2 don't want to give up this Drake. Caps is already pushed in the mid lane wave. Wall coming from behind. Noah again isolated the front line. Can they protect him? Backstep from him is good. Seismic shove not going to do much, but Broken Blade again is just completely unkillable, and Hansama has already gotten a reset. 4 members of FNATIC retreating, grouped up. Yike looking for a way to knock them up. Unstoppable from Cassante. The scoop now coming.
Ooh.
Humanoid wants to keep this game going. John and Oscar still standing strong, and that Cassante is
They got the... Uh-oh, they got the jinx.
themselves in the face of Humanoid. Broken Blade again is just completely unkillable, and Hansama has already got.
Remember that we have Baron and we could just take Drake and mid tier 2, but instead we gotta jump in here. Humanoid makes a great play though. And it's straight into the knockup too from Rakan. Good combo. Hansama could have flashed that though. I mean, Hansama could have flashed this, right? Humanoid has flash too, so maybe he just flash follows it, but I think you do have to flash there if you're Hans. That's pretty bad.
With the shuffle to connect onto Hansama to rip the game.
The fantastic ultimate onto Hans. We're going to look back at the play. A fight that starts off heavily in favor of G2 once again. A nice ultimate to cut off the escape route of FNATIC. They're funneled in. The ulti from Hans connects onto Noah. And then Razork drops, the jungler gone. Now FNATIC are on the retreat, but G2 overstayed their welcome. Caps is trying to find a flank. The ultimate there from Humanoid connects onto the carry they need to find.
He misclicked Ghost instead of Flash. Yeah, he did use Ghost there, it looked like.
Damage to win out the fight.
Perfect follow from Jun in that as well. The grand entrance as Humanoid has scooped Hansama.
I actually don't think he misclicked Ghost instead of Flash. I think he thought he could Ghost and then just not get hit by this wall. I think with Ghost, he thought with Ghost he would be able to sidestep it. That's what I think. I don't think it was a misclick. I think it was a miscalculation. Why not regroup to drag after they get the first kill? I don't fucking know, man. Why did Gen G, when they had a 5 versus 3 with Kalista, not finish Elder Drake and walk into Faker's Azir and a choke point? Why do teams do these things? I don't know. This is the shit that makes coaches super mad. Does he not die even if he flashes? No, because he doesn't get hit by fucking Azir ult. Or at least he forces Azir to flash and then he's not put into such a bad... He's not going to be, you know, scooped as close to FNATIC.
Trying to force them back, but they're going in. He's looking to lock upon top of flow. CC! No hesitation from FNATIC. In the face of elimination, they will make the play work. Caps on the backside of the fight, set to fall now, knocks down Oscar, but it's still...
Hansama's not going to flash anything, guys.
Times we see FNATIC been able to rely on Humanoid, rely on this Azir. Caps trying to...
He just gets charmed, knocked up by Rakan, and then CC'd to death.
Caps on the backside of the fight, set to fall now, knocks down Oscar, but it's still, overall, it's close. It's a 3v3. Yike, Broken Blade. Can they find the angle? Can they keep this fight going? 2-3 going through. Oscar should be able to take over, but they have to try and limit it. Razork trying to find the healing, a little bit extra coming forward. The shielding now going in as well. Oscar stepping in, but he doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the ability to stick on these targets. They're slowly but surely trying to win out on the fight. Unstoppable now, interrupts, pulls away.
Jun has looked very good throughout these playoffs, by the way. Like, honestly, impressive play from him. He's the one on FNATIC that I think has done the best overall.
Who's dying? No one is dying except for Jun, maybe. Finally, they will take down the Rakan. Jun's got nowhere to go. The pullback is not enough. Jun escaping. Are you kidding me?
No, he's
He
dead.
will die in the end. The Jinx
They try and give him a drink. You give him to Jinx.
refuses
Whatever.
to drop. It's the tower who takes him in the end. My God, what a fight.
There's not even any objectives to play for. FNATIC were just sieging in mid. They see an opportunity as Hans is left isolated in the mid lane. Mickey can't provide the peel, the flash isn't fast enough. But the response from G2 is just as strong. They get onto the back line, they take out Noah. A snipe from Yike onto Humanoid shuts him down. And then it's just a battle of the bruises.
I didn't even catch the hook from Mickey on the first time around. As the shuffle comes through, he snipes.
Wouldn't on-hit Varus be better here? Yes, probably.
If that hook hadn't landed. But with this, Yike has damage, BB has damage, and Oscar Iden ults, but just cannot get through the beef.
He should be able to get quite a few autos down against the composition. It's not like there's a threat. There's like a lot of pressure on him where he's not going to be able to auto attack a lot.
Win, but it just doesn't matter. There's too much sustain. He doesn't have enough damage to work through it by himself. And Jun, it's a heroic effort, but at the end of the day, it just feels like it resets everything back to even. G2 hold on in a play that might have been a death sentence as we returned alive. We see
Out on FNATIC this time though.
caught in the pinch, does get flicked back. Cleanses, walks away. Lockett gonna keep him relatively healthy. And again, Broken Blade constantly looking for these angles. Judd battle dancing back to the 5v5.
BD needs to try and find some way to get in onto this, but Humanoid and Noah are constantly up at the top side of the...
FNATIC is real. Here comes Broken Blade on the flank.
Ulti going wide. Push back.
Oh.
Broken Blade access to the backline. All FNATIC now need to retreat. Oscar buying as much base as humanly possible.
Broken Blade's the ult. Okay, there he gets ult for heal.
Oscar now trying to escape. The blobs on the ground for Broken Blade.
All right, definitely not worth that trade if you're FNATIC.
They will keep their top laner standing. Noah over the wall can do absolutely away. Oscar now trying to escape. The blobs on the ground for Broken Blade. It looks like
This is so smart, guys. I don't know if you noticed this. So Caps uses this to TP onto so that it guarantees the Zac resurrection. That's an extremely good play. Looks like I missed the stream. Approximately when will this be on YouTube? It's on YouTube right now. If you go to YouTube and go to the live tab, you can just start it from the beginning. It's already there. So this is actually a very good heads-up play by Caps. So they know the passive is up. So if they collapse on this flank and get the kill, Broken Blade won't actually die.
a lot of work here. Unstoppable now as he pulls Yike away. Oscar now trying to escape. The blobs on the ground for Broken Blade. It looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 frontline.
So that TP is actually super clutch because it basically ensures that BB gets the resurrection and then they can redemption on top of him and just hard win the fight.
And it's just Jinx taking over a quadra for Hansama. They're hunting.
What is Hans doing? He needs to go mid.
A bit of cruel irony for Noah.
What are we doing here? Are we really not gonna finish the game because we need a penta?
Walking him down. Hansama.
It's actually very troll. This is match point in a finals, guys.
2 pentakills.
He finally flashes.
Slowly walking him down. A bit of cruel irony
Yep,
for Noah.
he flashes for the penta.
Opposite side of this yesterday. Now he'll have to come face to face with the fact that it's Hansama who is slowly walking him down. Hansama who is securing the pentakill.
It's actually such a titanically stupid play.
Pentakills in this series.
It is such a dumb decision, guys. You're literally match point in a final that's going to get you top seeded MSI,
Title in a row.
and you probably can finish the game if Hans walks mid. If Hans walks mid right here, look at the wave. Look at the wave state. This game's over. This game's over, guys. 40-second death timer, 40-second death timer, 38, 34. This game is over. It's actually so embarrassing that this even is a reality. Because the thing is, you can send Yike, by the way. Yike will kill this guy. Yike will delay this guy. He'll make sure that he doesn't actually respawn.
Yesterday, now he'll have to come face to face with the fact that it's Hansama who is slowly walking him down. Hansama.
It's outrageous. I mean, this game is only a 5K gold lead. Like, imagine if they don't end this game, FNATIC steals the next Drake, gets Cloud Soul. Like, all of a sudden, this becomes very competitive.
G2, but Hansama able to secure another, and with what might be their 4th title in a row on the line, G2 find the team fight that they need, and both objectives.
G2 are able to find the fight. The idea from FNATIC is good. Humanoid turns his attention onto the tank. They say, just melt him, kill him, quick, quick, quick. Oscar is tanking on the other side, but Jinx is just too strong at this point. He's not able to buy enough time, and there's TP from Caps. Again, it's all about time for the Jinx, and Hansama is given so much room to play with. A quadra.
Dude, we have to flame them for this, right? Like, what the fuck? The series was over, and now it's not.
And Humanoid is trying everything he can to keep FNATIC in it. The shuffles have been great, but Broken Blade is just too tanky. They just can't.
Oscar and his dog shit, not gonna look. Oscar should have been absolutely curb stomped this series, but I think, you know, he wasn't because of decisions that G2 made, especially in those lane swap games.
And they have to try and hold the base. They have to try and hold on for just that little bit longer.
Gold favoring G2 very heavily. The Baron buff as well. 2 minutes left as they try to stack their waves. You can see Broken Blade not hitting in the mid lane. Wants to make sure that everything is crashing at the
Thresh tried to Lantern Jinx over to mid to go into. Yeah, of course.
They have just Caps sitting in the brush, allowing for the slow push at the minions in the mid. The Zac was doing the exact same thing. They want to create these 3 points of pressure, but FNATIC are going to match in mids to slow that push down. This gives an avenue for Hansama to push in this wave and secure a tower completely uncontested. The Jinx is at full build now. Full late game Jinx is something that any League player has experienced before and is a terrifying thing to deal with the GA on top of it. Even if FNATIC get the pick onto Hans, the question is, will it even be enough with Mickey lying in
full build Jinx at 32 minutes. Actually terrifying. Dangerous to critique French players. Oscarnin is Spanish, I believe.
Boris was supposed to get ahead, was supposed to be the poke threat onto the Jinx, onto the Taliyah. Maybe if Noah can find a couple of arrows, hitting Hansama, hitting Caps, he could start this fight out favorably.
Oh, Hans.
But it's so impossible
it's all right.
for them to kill Broken Blade at Yike at this point in the game.
You need the miracle play between Jun and Humanoid to give up in order to make the play, and it looks like FNATIC might go for it now with Oscar and abandoning mid-wave.
Caps watching bottom.
Don't you wish they sold pre-flattened chicken breasts? Genius.
Ready to Weaver's wall in if he needs to.
I think they do. They just call them like chicken tender strips or something like that.
Bring in the cannon minion as Oscar walks up to contest the wave. More falling away here. Humanoid off to the side, just laying a bit of damage down onto Yike.
This is where Yike is so valuable. Every time he goes under the ground, he can spot out if Humanoid is looking for a flank, if Jun is coming in from a different angle, and all he's doing is getting this little bits of information for G2 to make sure that they don't get caught out.
Weaver's
yeah, chicken cutlets, I think they're called. You can buy them.
His time does not want to burn any resources. He doesn't have to. That's the wave stepping up. Instant engage. Humanoid. Hansama on the backside, still untouched, but Jun goes in. There's no follow-up. The pushback from Humanoid is good. It looks like they're trying to take down the backline, but Humanoid is already down. And Hansama.
Oh my god, he hits the hook, forces a cleanse.
That's going to be it. On the backside, still untouched.
That they don't get caught out.
Weaver's wall. Jun off on one side, taking his time. Does not want to burn any resources. He doesn't have to. That's the wave.
Razork literally just flash cues Hansama here. But they have Mikhail, so it doesn't matter.
There's no follow-up. The pushback from Humanoid is good. It looks like they're trying to take down the backline, but Humanoid is already down. And Hansama is at full HP. That's going to be it. The double for Hans. G2 don't have a wave, but I don't think it matters. Breaking down the towers and looking to end it here.
G2 have gone and done it again. Humanoid tried his best, but his best was not enough. As long as Hans is alive, G2 will make a beeline towards the base to round out this series.
But going in, a last desperate hold from the bottom lane of FNATIC. It should not be enough. There's no way they can do this. Noah goes in, trying to
Noah the flash forward just to get a kill.
G2 know that they have the win. He's taking down Jun as well. And for the 4th time in the organization,
my son is yelling at my door.
4 titles back to back to back to back. They will secure first seed in MSI. And they will
I'll go see what he wants. Hold on. What an end to that game, guys. What an end. Your Lego? Yeah. It's yours. Do you want to build it?
We're waiting for you. You're the Lego master. It's not a Nana.
You have to build it!
I'll be done in just a minute, Max, okay?
Can you please, can Nana build
Yes. I'll be out in a minute. All right. Sorry, I had to go solve the Lego problem. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with LPL. If you guys want, I will do the LCK finals. But again, as I told you, I do not have time to do it before next week on stream, but it could be a fun thing to do. I'm going to go build Legos now. So see you later.